Greetings, gamers, and welcome to the 50th live stream from the MisfitGamersStudios. I'm your host, Vortex, and this is D&D Discussions. On today's homebrew review, we have a viewer-submitted item. We have the Chronicles of a Forgotten Age. It is a tome, a magical item that we're really interested in looking at. And we're just going to kind of talk right after that a little bit about what's going to be a part of the future of next year. So this is the final stream for 2023. So thank you all for who are here to join. It's kind of exciting. This is the 50th stream. Or no, I'm sorry, not the 50th stream. It is the 50th episode of D&D Discussions. We've had a couple others that I've done that are more like, just gameplay related stuff. But yeah, 50 episodes this year, started back in May, have been doing pretty well at 2 episodes a week, pretty steadily for 6 months. And I mean, that factors out math wise. So it's a great time to kind of end it for the year. It's fantastic. Cosmic D&D world. Yeah. Fantastic that you guys are here. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode. We are kind of making this a little bit of a special episode. It's a little bit of a, it's kind of a celebration. So, we're having fun, on Monday. It's fine. I do have Kage here in the studio with me today. But yeah, we're going to get to the item. We're going to do our normal thing. We're just going to be a little bit more casual maybe about it today. Excuse me. And after that, we are going to just kind of discuss a few ideas I have about next year, what we're going to do, hopefully with Homebrew Review, hopefully with the Friday streams, and hopefully, hopefully you guys will like some of the ideas that I have coming down the pipe. But without further ado, let me get Kage in here because I see him in chat already. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to the studio for episode 50.
Listen, it is so exciting to be here. The 50th, dude. We're halfway to 100. Like, I'm here for it. This is what's up.
I'm excited for episode 100. I have some ideas for episode 100. Y'all.
We're brewing.
By casual, do you mean drunk or buzzed? I mean, it's just beer, guys. We're not getting crazy here. I just felt like, a little bit of a celebration, a little bit more of a casual stream. So yeah, it's just more of a, we're not gonna, I think, be as serious. We're not really serious, but I think we're more focused on, being more serious about our review and being more like topic focused. I think today it's just more of a casual. I do want to get through this item.
Yes, I'm always excited for items,
but so I don't want to feel like it's a, we gotta be serious about it. So
serious faces.
It's again, I don't usually like to do stuff like this, but it's episode 50. It's the final one of the year. It's the holiday season. Man.
It really
is.
It's
something new, but don't expect a lot of these. But yeah, let me pull up the item here. So we have a new magical item that was submitted by Cosmic Purge, one of our longtime viewers. Actually, I think one of our longest viewers. And you know what? I think technically, next to Brew, I think he's the longest, most consecutive viewer. I know that for sure. He is the most consecutive viewer out of 50 episodes. Cosmic, excuse me, Cosmic. I can speak. Cosmic, correct me if I'm wrong. You have missed less than half a dozen episodes since you started, and I think you started around episode 10. If I remember correctly, you started somewhere around episode 10. And haven't missed more than like 5 or 6 episodes. So he's been our biggest congruent viewer.
That's pretty impressive in my book.
I technically think Brew only beat him at the follower by like a week or 2. Actually, can I look at? Oh, I can look it up. Hold up, let's find out.
That's crazy.
Let's see. No, it wasn't Brew. No, I was wrong. Bobakiss.
That's right.
Bobakiss was our very first follower since the rebrand. And like 2 weeks later, it was Cosmic. And then like a week after that, it was Brew.
Nice.
So Cosmic has been our longest running consistent viewer.
Come on, man.
But I haven't seen Bobakiss in forever.
Yeah.
He showed up like a month or two ago, but then just
I
poof,
know.
gone.
I know. Bobicus has their own stream that they do occasionally.
They do have their own D&D stream. They're building out their world on stream.
Very much so.
So yeah, they may have just gotten a lot busier. That good for them. I hope that is why, right? Like, I mean,
Right.
obviously, if they just don't like the stream anymore, that's fine. But honestly, I hope it's because their stream kicked off.
Right.
Because that's really cool when people can like actually get into that. Cosmic says, think it was episode 12 to 14. So yeah, 12 to 14. We're on episode
That's
50,
fair.
and I guarantee
Get outta here,
he's missed like what, less than 6? Like maybe 6 episodes.
I thought it was less than like 3 or 4. Like
It's very few.
very few, indeed.
And D&D World has been pretty consistent since the following.
D&D World's been popping off as well in the Discord too.
One
Like,
month
that's
ago,
pretty
D&D
cool.
World got here on the 13th, so over a month. D&D World has been here, and on most of the streams, I think in the last month, at least every other one. So, you know what we haven't seen in a minute though? We haven't seen Love Murder Rose.
That's right.
I don't know. I know they might
swear.
have an issue with work. I know that they
Might be a time conflict.
Yeah, I think they typically
That's
get
fair.
home after we start stream, so I don't know. But it is unfortunate. D&D World, hello. Thank you so much for being here and being interactive. Guys, seriously though, we do want to let you guys know that is always been the goal, is eventually I want to get to a point to where I can make this stream a lot more interactive. So we do really enjoy you guys in chat. I do understand that over time, with the more people that we get, it's going to be harder to read everything that you guys have in chat. It's going to be harder to stay up to date with what's being said in chat. But please understand that is the ultimate goal, is to have this stream is essentially, we want it to be kind of a viewer run stream, in the sense that between chat and our community in the Discord, we eventually want that to be driving the conversations. I mean, we have a lot to talk about. We have so much to talk about. We could literally, we've had 6 months and we're not even close to scratching the surface. But at the end of the day, what we do want to know is what you guys like to hear about, which is why we eventually got Homebrew Review. I guess we're just going to do a real recap, I guess. We're just going to do a 2023
it's the 50th.
recap before
Like, why
we do
wouldn't
this.
we?
But, we started out, I started out the first couple episodes just talking about different subjects. And then you eventually got on the episode, kind of just, it was more of a test run for me, because I wasn't really sure where I was going to go with being a host, being a streamer. I wasn't sure what I really wanted to do with it. And you kind of came on as a test run, and eventually it just worked out schedule wise. You're right. You worked right down the road, so it's easy to come over on certain days. And it was so funny that I remember the first couple times we did, I remember I was watching, I think it was XP to level 3, one of my top D&D YouTubers. XP to level 3
Right.
is so hilarious. And I think they did something similar to a homebrew review thing. They were I think they were on Reddit, or they had people submit. I think they went to Reddit to look at things that were built.
Okay.
And it was either that, or maybe they did the. But no. I think XP to level 3 did the D&D Beyond. I think they went on D&D Beyond, and they did a homebrew. They reviewed some stuff from homebrew. And I was like, that's a great idea, right? But I didn't want to just snatch it, right? I didn't want to just be like, oh, I saw some other YouTuber do it, so therefore I'm going to do it.
So let me try it out, see what happens.
So what I ended up doing, thank you for posting that. So what I ended up doing was I looked at D&D Beyond for a bit, and that's when I came up with high-low. That's when I was like,
And
you know
I like
what?
that idea.
I didn't want to just do what they did, which was just flat out review something. So I was like, how about a high-low? How about I take a subject, whether it's a spell, an item, a weapon, and I take the highest rated and the lowest rated, and I do a back-to-back review and give them the high point rating, which by now you guys that have been following for a while know it's not a rating of how good it is. It's a rating of how much I want it in my setting and how much I'm likely to use it. Again, personal rating has nothing to do with what we actually think that its value is. It's just a personal opinion. But that high point even kind of wasn't a thing when I first started, because I did. I think I did the very first high-low because I didn't have an idea that day. High-low was in the back of my mind, and I wanted to stream that day. And I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. Let's just do a high-low. And then as time progressed, I can't remember. I think it was Cosmic, the first person to actually give us an item, right? Like,
It's gotta be.
What am I talking about? Why don't I just look? We have
Why don't we pull it
Cosmic
up?
says, and I only usually missed episodes due to things I had no control over, like family dinners or Wi-Fi connection stability issues. Yeah. So it's like, it's not like he didn't decide to show up, which is great. So the very first item, the very first two items I did a high-low of D&D classes from D&D Beyond. I did the Anime Swordsman and the Abajirai. Yeah.
Okay.
And that was the very first, the Anime Swordsman, the high.
That's
high
right. That's right.
The very first item I did got a 10 out of 10 because it's fucking dope. I'm actually considering dropping it because as much as I like it, I'm realizing that it's a really cool concept. I really want to play it, and I'm most likely going to be inspired to create similar things. I'm probably never actually going to take that, have it as a resource, and then when I have a new player, be like, this is also an option, guys. Like, someone would have to go out of their way to come to me and be like, hey,
yeah,
you'll allow this, right? But I might actually drop it to a 9 out of 10. Because 10 out of 10 is reserved for I'm going to use that. Like, basically, I'm going to steal that or as close to high point acceptable. But now the more I think about it, I'm like, I love the idea. But now that we've done homebrew review enough, and I've done a couple other ratings, I don't think it deserves a 10.
And to be honest, that's fair. Because there are times where...
I think it's going to get an 8. I think I'm going to drop it to 8 because it inspires me, but I don't... No, it will have a 9 because I would, if I had a player, I would use it as is. I just won't. Like, I won't go out of my way to get someone to play it. I won't have it advertised.
Guys, I'm going to do it.
But I will. So it will get a 9. It will get a 9 out of 10, but it will get dropped down.
And that's fair. That's fair. Like, you learn the scale of things. Like, when you start and the first thing that comes out the gate, like, goes big, like, it's kind of hard not to want to give it what you feel like it deserves.
Yeah. Well, and I was okay. So again, this was so early on. Like, this was before there was anything that I was doing because, it was a joke. Like, literally, I did this high-low episode, and I jokingly said, the reason why I'm knocking it down is because I liked it so much in my reaction. I liked what it said. It sounded fucking cool, right? So as a person, I was like, I like it 10 out of 10. But now that we are 33 items deep, and we've really finally developed a homebrew review concept and what high points are,
and the system of your rating. Like, you specifically articulated, hey, it gets knocked down for like these specific things and like all those bits. I've
developed that over the last couple of months.
Yeah.
So now that I'm looking back on it, those first two ratings were me personally, Vortex, just saying, oh yeah, 10 out of 10, I would use that. But now that I'm re-looking at it from the prism of all the other reviews, it's like no, that doesn't actually deserve 10 points compared to the other ones, so it's getting knocked down. 33 deep and like 20 of them are yours. Let's actually look. So
that's very fair.
We actually have a list here. If you guys can see, I have this an entire list here. So item today, the item that we're reviewing today will be item 33. Cosmic,
so choice.
Let's see here.
Really?
Excuse me one second, everyone. Sorry about that, everyone. Okay, Cosmic, out of 33 items, including the item we have yet to review today, you have submitted 14.
Dang.
You have submitted 14 items. You were the third. Oh my fucking God. Cosmic, you were the third item and you are the 33rd item of 2023. Just so you know that. That's
come on
so
now.
If I haven't mentioned this, and I'm pretty sure I have, but I had a very early episode about High Point, and I talked about special numbers in High Point.
You actually?
I talked about that. I have special numbers in High Point, specifically when it comes to percentiles. There's certain special numbers depending for the player and for me, depending on the situation and whether or not things can happen. And 3 and 33 are two of those special numbers. And it's just hilarious that you got those.
Absolutely.
Maybe
ridiculous.
in a few years it'll be item 333. I swear to God, if we actually pay attention to that, that would be hilarious if we could keep that going to
Get out of here. That would be ridiculous.
But yeah, 33 items just from Cosmic. By the way, everyone, if you want to submit an item, if you're watching this in chat right now, or if you were on YouTube watching this in the future and you want to submit an item that you want to see us review on a Monday, you can go ahead and join our Discord, which the link is now in the description. If you're on YouTube, you're probably just going to have to either check the description. I need to do that eventually. But yeah, check the description, or you can write it in from the chat right there. And if you're in Twitch chat, go ahead and join the community. There's only like a 2-step verification now. I think we've actually knocked it down, right?
Yeah, we get streamlined.
It's emote and then post your name. That's just two things. You got to emote and then go to a different channel, post your name. It's all in the instructions. We'll get you in there. You can give us questions that we'll answer either on stream or in the Discord. If you just want our answer personally, you can submit items for us to review on Mondays, and you can even submit topics you want to hear us talk about on Fridays. Or you can just talk to everybody. Everyone's cool there. It's great. It's small, but we're getting there. It's fantastic.
Very much
so. Knocked it down. What is it? Prone? It'll take half movement to get back up.
That's right.
Yeah, no, it is so great to see this list. We need to update the we need to figure out how to get this into the Discord better.
Yeah, I do. I don't like the idea of a picture, but it might be the best way.
It works for now, but we need to get something out. But yeah, so we're okay. So we were talking about like the development. So we got the first. I did the high-low, and then Cosmic. I think what happened was you weren't here, or no, it was a day I was by myself, I think, and I was talking about okay. So I had done the high-low episode, and a little while later, I was trying to figure out what to do for a series. Like I wanted to do like a stream series. Excuse me, guys. So I was trying to figure out a stream series, and what I decided on was I wanted to talk about our experience with 5th edition, because I was primarily 2nd edition.
Right.
I'd already established that. So I wanted to talk about how I used Discord to game. And we talked about the Orc server, the Discord server that I did. Right. And I did a whole series. I think I did a 5-part series. So I did It's on YouTube, guys. If you guys ever want to see more of the stream that you've missed, or if you ever want to see previous streams, at MisfitGamersStudios Live, the thing that you see on Twitch is a lie. I still haven't fixed it yet. It says at Misfit Gamer Studios. It's at Misfit Gamer Studios Live, but if you search it, you'll find us. But yeah, I did a 5-part series called 5E in Discord. And it was me basically talking about how I adapted my setting into 5E, how I did it for the purposes of that setting and of that campaign. And I talked a lot about like what the campaign was. I talked about how I set up the Discord, how I made it look, how I tried to make it more interactive, and so during that series, it was episode 2. During that whole series, I think Cosmic had jumped into chat. He was like early on, and he was telling me about these items that he had made, because I was talking about just all the stuff that I was creating. And that's where he dropped 3 items on me that day.
That's right. I forgot. He did an unload.
So during that episode of D&D discussion, or of D&D discussions 5e in Discord part 2, he dropped the robe of accumulative knowledge, satchel of individual desire, or SID, or another option is the bag of mocking. And that's the Cosminium Jewel.
That's the one I wasn't there for, because I remember specifically you had to go over it with me after the fact.
And so long story short, he dropped those 3 on me, and then later down the road, I did another one. Oh yeah. So what ended up happening was you were here. We were talking about new gaming groups. This was, I think, one of your very first episodes. We were talking about how to deal with implementing, getting into new gaming groups, right? Like as a DM and as a player.
Yeah.
And someone had mentioned in chat another item that was a homebrew, and they pointed us to D&D Beyond, and that was the.
Oh, was that the?
That was the keg of the bearded one.
That's right.
It was brought up in chat, and so we went to D&D Beyond and we reviewed it. And I think at that point, so that was item number 6. It took,
and I think all of this is before we even had this layout here.
No, 100%. So item number 6 finally came through, and no. Item number 6 came through, and then I was in 5e in Discord part 3. In chat, Cosmic dropped another item that was the Shield of Inversion, and what happened was that was a Friday. Cool. What ended up happening, because it was so cool, the next Monday we talked about it because you were there again. And
I think that's actually when we tried to go over.
And we were talking about creating. I believe that was the creating plot hooks episode, because he dropped another item on us when you were here, because that item was the dragon wing shield.
When did you first tell me about his world and about like the buried gods and things of that nature? Because when you first brought that up to me, that's when you brought up the whole lore of the dragon goddess.
So according to this,
items.
So according
from
to
the scales.
According to this, our very first official homebrew review episode was the Robe of Elemental Defense. So before that, we looked at the Dragon Wing Shield. So this is what I think happened. Is I was doing 5e in Discord part 3, which was on a Thursday. I was still Thursday streaming. And that was my solo day. Because I did part 2, and I got 3 items. You were here the next day for the new gaming groups. I remember you here on that episode. We got the bearded one. Then it was on part 3, he gave me another item. I was by myself. Then there was the episode creating plot hooks, which I think you were here for.
I think so.
And we got the Dragon Wing Shield. And then 5e in Discord part 4, I got another one. I got the shards, the full set. He actually discussed with me the full set of the dragon shards.
Right.
Which you weren't here for.
Correct.
So again, the following Monday, I had to discuss that with you, which took time. And I'm giving you all this for
because I think one of the times we didn't actually finish going over everything, and we had to come back to
exactly. And then after the crane plot hooks, I got the dragon set, the full set. And then the very next episode, not the next episode, but the next episode we did a review on was the Robe of Elemental Defense, which I think was like a week after. So it was right around my 4th episode of D&D Discussions, which was I was still doing on Thursday. Which was my Discord one. And I think I had finally gotten to the point to where it was like 2 things. 2 things happened. A, we were really liking this idea of reviewing homebrew, especially on Mondays when he was here. But the idea first started kind of because we were getting these ideas from Cosmic, and we were like, hey, this is cool. What if more people sent us this stuff? So we started leaning into this idea of homebrew review. And then we got to a point to where we were like, hey, let's do a Monday stream together. That was when you were kind of being more regular, which we were like, we're just going to do a regular stream on Mondays because he, works right down the road. He gets off work and come over for a couple hours. So we tested this out because I didn't know where I wanted to go as a streamer. Didn't know if I wanted to do more people, just myself. It was a cool way to test things out and to get things flowing. But we finally decided that Cosmic was sending us so much stuff that we were like, hey, how about we just do a quick review on Monday? We start every stream. It was a random idea we talked about off stream. And it was like, hey, how about we just start Monday with a review and then we go into our topic. And that was still when they were being labeled as the topic. But we went like 5 streams and never got to the topic because we always did the homebrew review.
Yeah. That 100%
and
happened.
This is when it happened. So this very episode where it's called D&D Discussions Homebrew Review Robe of Elemental Defense, that was actually not the original title of that episode. That was one of the ones I retitled because that was one of the first episodes
we
had subject for. We had a whole topic for. But we spent 90% of the episode on this damn item. And it was, again, we did this for like 4 or 5 weeks straight. It was so good. But we did this for like a month until we realized, what are we doing? This is not a starter topic. This is the topic. So I think it was like, it was like 4 or 5 episodes later that we ended up with the idea of just converting Monday to D&D or to homebrew review, because at that point we were getting so many items, submitted to us from Cosmic at that point that it was like he was basically submitting at least 1 or 2 a week. So it was like, hey, we'll just keep up with this stuff. We can, outright talk about it, and then we can eventually build it from there. So that's where homebrew review came from. That's a very long way of saying it, but to recap this year, homebrew review literally came because I had no topic one day and reproduced what XP to level 3 did.
There's a
I
gift
did the
for
high
you
low
in the chat, just so you know.
Oh shit, what's going on here?
There's all kinds of things happening.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. It's finally happened. All right. Homebrew review and the tangents. Yes, Cosmic. And I am so sorry, Cosmic. Yeah, we're all
Cosmic,
about the tangents.
I am very sorry. I know that you have called me out on our tangents. And I know I told you I would get better at this. But something has just happened that Kage and I have been discussing for at least a month now.
A couple weeks.
At least 2-3 weeks now. So I'm sorry. This tangent has been planned. We will get to your item right after this. As a quick recap, Homebrew Review basically came out because Cosmic kept spamming us. You kept coming over on Mondays, and we kept getting off topic. So we made Homebrew Review primarily because we can't stay on topic, and Cosmic is just bombarding us with stuff.
He's got such good stuff.
But that's the history there. And we still don't know what we're doing. Thursdays turn into Fridays, and I still don't know what we're doing. I wanted to call it the deep dive series, the deep dive episode, but really it's just topical.
Topical.
And as of right now, just to kind of give you guys an idea of what is planned for next year, we still plan on doing a dual stream or a co-stream on Mondays for Homebrew Review. That is still the plan. When Kage is not here or we have no items, we'll do a high-low. And as of right now, that's kind of the same plan. As for Fridays, I will continue streaming Fridays, and I will continue working on my topics. I'm hoping that next year, throughout the year, I'm going to develop a list of topics that I will post in the Discord that you guys can keep apprised of so you know what topics are coming up. I'm not sure if I want to have them pre-posted or not. I don't know if that will make people less desirable to show up. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but next year I'm hoping to be more fluid in what topics we talk about and be more scheduled. And as of right now, just so you guys all know, we're 6 months in. We're 50 episodes in.
50 episodes, man.
I'm starting personally to get more comfortable as a host. I feel like I understand a little bit more about what my role is and where I'm going with this stream, what I want to do. I actually talked with Vixie, my wife, about this a little bit over the weekend. One of the things I do want to work on next year for myself is getting better at streaming by myself. I have learned that, not in a bad way, but you're a bit of a crutch for me because you help bring more ideas. You help question me. You bring, even though I could think of the same things without you, you keep the conversation going where I may not tangent off because the idea isn't fully fleshed out. When you're here and you talk, I can flesh out my ideas and be ready to. So there's a lot of reasons why you are a very big benefit and why I kind of jokingly got you to co-host, because it's more of a, I've really liked where we've gone with this, but I'm still not sure where I want to go with the whole stream. One of my hopeful goals, because I do feel like my Friday stream suffers, I don't think I'm as fluid. I need to work on that. And that is kind of going to be my goal on Friday streams when I'm by myself, is to get a little bit more fluid with my topics, with my ideas, and being able to keep that conversation going without needing to kind of hope that you have something to say that I can be like, oh, good. You talk for a few minutes and let me figure out what I need to say. But that's just, little things there. But yeah, and we do hope to have more guest stars next year. I do want to get Vixie, my wife, and long-term gamer in my realm. I do want to get her in here. We do want to bring Lucifer back a couple times. But how and when we do that is still undecided. We're still trying to figure out where we are in all of this craziness. And so we will post when we have special guests in mind. Just know that we don't have a schedule for that yet. So bear with us. We're trying. We're working on it. Additionally, we may try to bring active gaming to like live gaming, cool. Us gaming on stream. We're going to try to bring that next year. And next year, the goal by the end of the year is affiliate.
Yes.
That will help us keep going.
Very cool.
It's we're not hoping anytime soon. We're hoping by the end of the year. I think that's fair. I think we have 23 more followers that we need to make affiliate. Yeah. So we have a whole year,
and we've done a good job. Thus
one or
far.
Two a month. Like that's kind of the goal, 1 or 2 a month. But that was one tangent. Cosmic, I am sorry. That was not the tangent that I warned you about.
That was not the promised tangent. That was
I needed to summarize the rest of it because this next tangent has to happen because we've been waiting for a month, and then we're going to get right into the item.
Yes.
No more. This is it. One more tangent.
We promise.
Your item. That's it.
We promise.
Promise you. Okay, going back to chat. Because last thing we said was Cosmic said homebrew review and tangents. Yes, we love our tangents.
Yes.
And then, Love Murder Rose, you are back finally.
So excited that you're here.
Saying hello to Kage, saying so much better. Yes, so if you haven't seen any of the YouTube videos, Love Murder Rose, we have had quite an update to the stream. About 3 weeks ago, I finally bit the bullet on Cyber Monday, bought a whole bunch of new stuff. We have matching microphones. So you can see here that we have the same microphone, the same webcam. I have a light. He has a light. I think it's... and then we have a stand to hold it all. But that's pretty much it. But the idea was we knew that going forward, we're not a huge production yet, but we could be more digestible. We could be more appealing. So thank you so much. I'm glad that you noticed. It was kind of one of our things that we weren't really sure was drastically noticeable. We were hoping that it was worth it. So really, thank you so much for commenting because it's really nice to know that.
And I'm trying to get better with my mic etiquette and making sure it's in my face because I'm totally not used to this whole thing.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But thank you. It means a lot that it's noticeable. And then the Cosmic says I was creative, wouldn't shut up about my ideas. Cosmic has some amazing stuff. Yes, Cosmic does have some amazing stuff. And then Cosmic wants to know what items Love Murder Rose like the most. The evolving ones, the ones that were custom made. Yes. So again,
yep.
Dude, Cosmic, the Dragon Shield stuff is so fantastic.
Out here getting it always.
You've been working 55-hour weeks. Do not apologize for that. Go make your money, boo-boo.
For sure.
Do not worry about what you got to do in life. Life always comes first, okay? We're just here for your entertainment when you can show up. That is what we're here for. Hopefully you were entertained. But you just posted. That means you were... That's a minute. That means you were still here. So, tangent necessary. Love Murder Rose. We have been waiting for you to be in chat for 3 weeks, 4 weeks now. Because I had noticed something. I had come to a conclusion shortly after the last time you were here. You submitted an item to us a couple weeks ago. Where is it? There we go. So several weeks ago, Love Murder Rose had submitted us Kintsugi's Resolve. It was an armor. Phenomenal concept.
And I am a sucker for anything in the Japanese, like all of that vibes. Just...
Yeah. It was a great item. It was spawned off of one of her player characters. So not the traditional DM wants to create an item for their realm. It was, she had a character, played the character had specific rituals, specific things that were role played for the character. When that character finally died, this item, this armor set became active, and part of the aspects of this armor were indicative of those rituals that her character actually did. So it was a phenomenal build. We loved it. It got an 8 out of 10. However, Love Murder Rose. It was literally like the next stream I had made a comment, or I was talking with Kage about this, and we needed to make an update. We needed to make a correction. And we've been waiting for you ever since.
And it's one of those things where it's like it comes back at you, like when something sticks in your mind like that. It always comes back.
It actually plays into the conversation we were having just a few minutes ago about the development of the stream. So
exactly,
we have developed Homebrew Review. I've developed High Points over several months, and as we've been developing it, Kage and I were having a conversation. And I realized that I misrated yours for one simple thing. It was something that in the moment, I hadn't figured out yet. But literally the next day, I had realized something about your build. And I immediately realized I had to make a correction. So we've been waiting for you. So I'm actually going to go. We're going to go to the PC cam real quick. And we are going to get our window capture here. So anyway... long story short, I misrated the item. So as you can see here, the 24th item that we rated, Kintsugi's Resolve, got an 8 out of 10. Now, the problem with this is the way I've been rating it recently and the way that I was rating it, it's typically the idea of, in a grand world, it starts at 10 out of 10. You know, the idea is I'm going to want this. Mm-hmm. And I take points away for reasons I won't want it. Right? And I took away 2 points. The main reason, point number 1 is I could not use it as is. It was an item created by a player's character in a completely different game. I am not going to plagiarize that, right? It's not in me to say, oh, you did that in someone else's game. I'm going to take that. I
want it. It's mine now.
For me, those things need to have been created in my realm and High Point for me to justify. So
or found a way to make its way there.
It lost a point there. And then outside, because everything else I loved about it. But then I took another point off. And I believe it was for... Oh, yeah. I took another point off because typically I loved the item as is and I wouldn't change anything. One of the reasons why I add points to an item is because if it inspires me to create things. So I took 2 points off. That's why you got the 8 out of 10. I was wrong. 24 hours later, I realized why I was wrong. Because I said she lost a point because it didn't inspire me to do anything. But normally when I think about that, it's like, oh, it's going to inspire me to create a similar item that fits my realm. That's what I said she missed. The problem is I got inspired to do something completely different, but I didn't account for it. Because Kintsugi's Resolve, based on the backstory of what she said, the fact that the character did certain rituals and those were imbued in the new armor, I want to start doing that in High Point.
That's so cool.
The idea of if a player of mine in my realm dies spectacularly or is so fundamental to the changing of my realm, like Ness or Davd, I think they deserve to be immortalized in the realm. Now, normally, you would have to create something. Normally, you'd have to create a spell in your name. You'd have to create an item that lasts forever. But the idea of rewarding a player by immortalizing them in the realm, by saying, hey, your character was so great, your build was good, you played it well, you did stuff for my realm, you did all of this stuff for the story, or the way you died was just mind-blowingly awesome campaign, and I want to just reward you for that. Taking something that they have done, taking an aspect, like imagine we've talked about Venla and her grove and her ability to do the greenways. Imagine if she died so spectacularly that I would immortalize her with saying that there is an evergreen grove, and it could be in the most desolate area ever, but there will be things. And I'm like, that I missed the fact that that's what it inspired me to do is it wouldn't just be something that every player gets, but it's going to allow players to reach for something, to have done things that deserve to be remembered. And so something about you, like Dovd, could be the staff. It could be the book. It could be anything.
Yeah.
But like with Ness, like all of the things that she's doing, like there are certain characters that can stand out so well that I just once I understood that Kintsugi's resolve was actually based on things that she did as a character, it instantly I understood. I'm like, that's a great way to immortalize and to reward players. And so for that reason, we're upping it to a 9 out of 10.
Hell yes.
The only reason it's not a 10 out of 10, because I would absolutely steal it, is because it did not get created in High Point, and because it's not just a item. Like, if you had just said, I just created this armor that sounds cool, it would be a 10 out of 10. The only reason it can't be is literally because I respect the fact that it was created in someone else's setting.
Although a lot of its benefit is, a lot of its upping is coming from all of that. So if it wasn't that, then
that's my point. So it literally is, to me, it's a disservice. If I were to put Kintsugi's Resolve armor in High Point, it does it a disservice, because I'm literally the only way to make it worth it is to literally plagiarize and steal the backstory.
Right.
The only reason it works so perfectly is because that backstory. I can create any armor that does the same thing, but Kintsugi's Resolve can't be mine, because I don't want to disrespect it, but
because that lore
exists. I will be taking that. What I will be taking is allowing players to get to a certain point where if they die or ascend or do something and they're done with that character, having some, even if they just retire the character, right? They retire it and they're like, I'm done playing with that character. They're just going to retire. I'm never going to play him again. I will take their weapon and say it's been passed down through the ages and eventually, like, something. I want to be able to take that.
Cool.
So
that's so cool.
As you can see here, we are going to change this from an 8 to a 9 out of 10. We've been waiting a month to tell you that live on stream. I did not want to tell you that you can go watch an episode of such and such to go see it. I wanted to do that live.
That's dope.
Thank you so much. Literally, it was such a cool concept.
It really was.
And that idea, that just giving me that, I've always thought about different ways of immortalizing players, you know, with like feats that they've done. And I've thought about things like naming towns after them if they've saved enough people, or doing statues. Cool. But realistically, the idea of allowing something that they carried on them, something that was man, that was such a cool concept. So to be able to do that, wanted you to see that. I've missed some things in chat. Cosmic says, with the first 10 out of 10 item being lowered to an 8, would that make the Double or Nothing be the only true 10 out of 10? I remember that was the episode Kage was away. I did text him about the 10 out of 10. So let's find out, Cosmic.
That did go down.
Let me answer your question. So officially, yes, officially Double or Nothing is the only 10 out of 10 High Point item. It is the only one officially. Wow. Officially, Cosmic. Congratulations. You have the only 10 out of 10 item. Double or Nothing. It was episode D&D Discussions, Ideas Moving Forward. You were not here, but it was when I was talking about some
and I remember going over that afterwards, and that was so cool.
Phenomenal.
I freaking loved it.
Phenomenal.
Absolutely.
That delay. Cause Love Murderer says they're so happy that they could help inspire us. Yes, no, and we're just so happy that, again, you are here in involving yourself and allowing us to take. I mean, I know that it's kind of nerve-wracking to give someone something of yours and ask them to review it, and that's kind of, you know, we that's why we hope to never make people feel bad about what they are. I may not want the item, but it's not about being right or wrong. It's about the setting that I want to portray, and you know, that's why it's that whole thing of like, one of the things that we want to do with the Discord next year, we were actually talking about this right before stream, is refine some of the guidelines of our community, because one of the things that we realize that we really haven't stressed enough is, you know, we talk about beyond the book, and that's mainly just because we believe that the book isn't everything. But in other aspects, we want to talk about the fact that we really truly believe that there is no wrong way to play. And we really want the community to reflect that. Yeah. So one of the things that we're going to try to do with the Discord moving forward is have guidelines that are more, respective of that. The idea that, you know, sharing ideas, sharing opinions is absolutely encouraged. We want people to disagree with us. I don't want to make a community where everyone thinks that High Point is the right way to play D&D. That would be the worst possible. Like, literally, the worst thing I can think of is have a following of people that says, no, he's the only person who knows how to play D&D. That is never what I want. And I'm putting that on camera now.
Right.
I never want that. What I want is a community that says, that's not how I do it. This is how I do it. And everyone go, oh, that's cool. And go your separate ways. Like, I just that concept of right and wrong is why we go. What is why our motto Beyond the Book really exists. Is I feel personally that when you lean too heavily into thinking the book is the only way to play, it can limit the fun, and that's not the wrong way to play. If that is how you and your gaming group and your whole party want to play, have at it.
But I think that's
here I'm here to give all the people who aren't comfortable with that a place to find what they are
what it
comfortable
comes down
with.
to is because if you are enjoying playing that game, then you're playing it right.
Correct.
Right? Like, if you're playing it by the book and, like, being like a rules lawyer out the gate and everyone at that table is having a blast, then freaking
you're
go
in the right
get
place.
You some.
And we're never going to say that they are wrong. We're not here to say that playing by the book is wrong. The only reason why we have the motto Beyond the Book is because we want to foster a community where if you have been here, because again, it's how I got
everyone to be able to enjoy the game, even if they're not you. And if it's not with you, that's fine.
Exactly.
But find your community.
And that's why I want this community to be, right? I want people to be able to come to me and be like, hey, I disagree with you, but I like the arguments you make. They're making me be able to, like, I would love a follower who disagrees with everything I say, who disagrees with how High Point runs, but can be like, but I respect your viewpoints and they're making me justify my own setting. I would love you in the Discord. Why? Not because I want you sitting there being like, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. I want you in there giving your viewpoints and giving your counter arguments. So the next person that joins goes, well, I really like what Vortex is saying, but he's really also making a good, compelling point. I'm going to add that too. Like, I want the community to be a place where people can see how many different ways there are to play. Not to be a place of people saying, this is the way to play. I'm only telling you about High Point, not to say this is what you should do. I'm telling you about High Point because it's the way I wanted to play, and I want to show you that people can have fun that way. But Kage, you don't own the game.
Those really dope spots that have like the things that go around in a circle, and they have like a million different like options for you to just like choose from, and they just keep going around, and you can take what you like. Like, that's the type of environment that I think would be so beautiful for our community. Is just people keep bringing stuff to the table to like put on this revolving tray that anybody that comes can just come and like get it like a buffet. You know what I mean? Like, everybody can choose whatever it is that they like. Hey, that looks cool. Hey, that sounds awesome. Hey, that's a beautiful idea. Like, being able to bring all of that to the table is just phenomenal. Like, I'm 100% here for it. So, one of these days I feel like I think we're gonna do some cool stuff. I'm excited about not only what our Discord's gonna look like, but what the actual stream, what kind of stuff we're gonna be able to do. And I don't know if you guys have seen it. Additionally, when Vortex was doing some changes over on the YouTube channel, he actually also added a campaign that we had been playing, a playlist called the Old Gods campaign. And some of the audio is a little rough at first, but it's a really cool game that Vixie, myself, and Vortex were playing. How long ago was that? Was that 2020? 2019 that we started playing that? That's crazy.
By the way, Cosmic, to answer your question, your average rating is 6.7.
That's pretty good.
Not including today's rating. That's what we're going to get to next. But out of all of the items that you have submitted, you have a 6.7 as your average rating.
That's impressive. That's well above average.
All right, so now let us get to today's main topic, and then we'll get back to the casualness.
Of course.
Let me go here. Perfect. Lower than you thought it'd be. I mean, yeah, it's. We'll see what today does. I'll let me pull that back up. We'll see what ends up happening once I re-add today's. Okay. And then we'll see where you end today. Okay, so I have a few other things pulled up here as references because I wanted to understand what we were walking into. I am going to use the restroom real quick so I can be fully paying attention to this.
Oh, yeah.
And then, yeah, we're going to get right into this. So give me like 1 minute, and then we're going to get right into the Chronicle of a Forgotten Age.
Chronicle of the Forgotten Age? Of a Forgotten Age. Okay. BEA beautiful. Well, I'm excited for this. Cosmic, you'll have to let me know if this is one of your series or not. One of the because you have the two series. You have the one which is the bad guys. They have their different like series of weapons that they will eventually be able to like fight and take from the bad guys. But then there's the actual scales for each one of the players. So I'm curious if it could be for a different game or a different campaign. I don't know if your world is that inclusive or not, but whatever, it's fine. Anyways, I'm very excited. D&D World said something. He says, I like to try to get my players to celebrate death with a burial and a scene of their first steps in the afterlife with the Raven Queen. Interesting. So I'm curious, and this is actually a question that I've had for a lot of D&D players, just in general, but does everyone have just one afterlife, or is there an afterlife for every religion, right? Because is the Raven, is everyone who dies going to go with the Raven Queen?
In standard D&D, all pantheons have their own individual afterlife. So your followership will depend upon what or what afterlife you have. So if you follow a certain god, you go to their afterlife. Essentially, you could think of it as followership, and following a god is kind of like having a pact. So you're giving up your soul to them. So the idea is that souls are power. So you'll go to them. But then there's also other aspects too, because there's versions where you could go have the 99 hells or the 9 layers of hells, the variations of that. Mm-hmm. And then you have other things where you can have you have different planes of existence that can also interact with the spirit world. So it doesn't always have to be that you go to a very specific afterlife, but the idea, especially if you're like a cleric or a very devout follower, right, the idea is that your god has something for you, has, a deal once you've passed, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're guaranteed it.
So say you're a random Joe, you don't worship nobody, you are atheist until the day you die.
Your soul is kind of essentially, you can consider it, there's two ways to go about it. It's up for grabs, or you're going to go in a midpoint, like a limbo where it's neither good nor bad.
Would not somebody like the Raven Queen, who is like a god of death, not have some sort of claim to dying souls?
In some pantheons, again, depending on what edition, depending on what era, depending on what pantheons you want in your realm, fair. Some have a bidding war, some have the ability to just take, other people have the ability to just claim the unclaimed. Mm-hmm. I mean, I have a very, very complicated hierarchy of things like that in High Point.
Yes.
But in general, I believe the concept is that for the most part, D&D doesn't really look at it as necessary of what happens after death. That's more of if you want to add the additional the additional ethereal gaming, right? If you want afterlife gaming,
which is I think what D&D World's initial thought was. It's like when your character dies, give them a little bit of a send off and articulate what it looks like when they walk into their afterlife.
Yeah, or if you just want it for lore purposes of that's how gods keep their power. But for High Point, death isn't the end. So
very much so.
The whole reason why I have a complicated understanding of what happens after death is because that's gameable.
Yes.
That's not, excuse me, guys. That's not something that is like, oh, your character died, you're done. Like, there's a lot of factors that go into whether or not you get to continue gaming after you're dead. There's a lot of different reasons why you could continue gaming even though you're dead.
Right.
So going back to chat real quick. We have a lot of chat. So much of you guys. It's so great.
Chat will not be real quick.
Cosmic said it's not one of the Dragon Scout items, nor... Okay, so he's just talking about
I asked him about that, yeah. I was like, I was curious if this had anything to do with either of those sets that he had been...
Yeah, because
not Double or Nothing, but the one that we're reviewing today.
Oh, yeah. He did make a comment that this isn't part of anything.
Okay.
And then Love Butter Rose says, so side tangent while Vortex... because this is what you guys were talking about? When I walked in?
No, I actually didn't read that yet.
Oh, so my Punk Monk Pancake now can have up to 6 arms. Her normal arms or Astral Self arms are just last session. She got the Eldritch Claw tattoo that can summon inky tentacles, but I reflavored as 2 shadowy arms, full Shiva Goddess of Death mode. You know what this also reminds me of? Cosmic, I promise we're going to get to your item. I'm not going to go on a tangent on this, but just real quick.
Beautiful.
That reminds me of Elfin Lied. I'm not thinking Shiva. I'm thinking Elfin Lied. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Love Murder Rose, please Google Elfin Lied. It's ELFIN, Elfin, and then lied as in like you lied.
Yeah.
Elfin Lied. It's an amazing anime.
It's one of my favorites.
And, oh my God, you just literally described that. And that's what I'm thinking.
I'm fine.
That's what I want.
I'm fine.
D&D World says, basically there's an afterlife for every god, but the Raven Queen is kind of the guide to see. Yeah. So kind of, that's their job.
Yeah.
Raven Queen is like Sharon. She keeps the soul's guides. I 100% agree. I almost read Sharon as Karen.
So that bingo was in response.
Let me speak to Hades' manager.
That bingo was in response to when you said death is not the end and the afterlife can be gameable.
Oh, I thought bingo was to Love Murder Rose saying the Raven Queen is like Sharon.
Oh. Then never mind. Maybe that's what it was.
Because the 2 arrows point up, so I assume that's in chat, meaning yes, she got it.
Oh, got it. All right. Well, then it popped up in chat right as you were saying that. So
and then
that's
D&D and D&D follows it up with a role kind of like the boat keeper in the underworld in Greek. Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I got you.
I don't even think of that vectors. Wait, what are we talking about here? I thought Sharon was the Greek boat god. I thought Charon was the one that was the boat god. He was the boatman of the River Styx. You two, I think, are talking about the same person.
Really?
I'm pretty sure you two are talking about the shit. Should I look that up? I'm pretty sure Sharon is.
No tangents. We can't do it.
Yeah, Sharon, Greek mythology. Is the ferryman of the Greek underworld known also known as Hades. Yeah, you two are talking about the same exact person.
Oh my God, it is.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. Love Murder Rose is talking to me. So D&D World was talking about. So they were talking about the same thing. No. Love Murder Rose is saying, "Oh my God, it is," as in Elfin Lied. So
the vectors. Yeah.
Okay, so you do know Elfin Lied. I'm so glad you know Elfin Lied.
That's
cool.
Beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah, the invisible arms are called vectors, right? Yeah. Okay. We're all on the same page.
Right.
We're all on the same page. Let's get to the review items so we stop.
Back on track.
So I pulled these ones up real quick because I wanted a reference, because Cosmic did say that he submitted to us a tome.
Okay.
So I wanted to look up some real quick references of what the standard tomes are right now. So we have one of the more common ones, like the Tome of Understanding.
Okay.
In short, it basically says if you spend a certain amount of time reading it, you're going to get a +2 to your wisdom.
Bet. And is this an increase that can go past 20?
I think so.
Okay.
It doesn't say you can't. It just says that it'll increase your max.
Okay.
It'll increase by 2 plus your max by... Oh, yeah. And
if it says your max, then
yes, it will go over 20.
All right, bet.
And then you have like the Tome of Clear Thought. This book, after so many days of reading, will give you a +2 to your intelligence permanently. So this is the kind of direction tomes are taking. You have Tome of the Leader. It'll give you a +2 to your charisma. So these are the tomes that I think of when I first hear the word tome. I'm not saying anything other than just when I hear the word tome, which is what we're reviewing. This is kind of the base.
The general vibe that I get when I'm thinking about them. Yep, I got you.
Your max increases by the same amount. Yes. So your max increases. So if your max is 20, which is typical, your max would increase by 2 as well. So you can get over 20. Yes. So that is typically what I see with tomes. Sounds like a tome tally useful buff. Okay, so what we want to do now, though, is we want to get into this one. So now we have Cosmic's item, Chronicle of a Forgotten Age. It is a legendary rarity. The item is a spell book or a tome, depending on how you want to flavor that. And it is a +3 casting focus. Already liking what we're talking about here, because that right there, I'm going to say, and again, something that Cosmic does very, very beautifully. He likes to pull out underutilized aspects. A +3 tome or spell book is something you almost never hear. You hear about +3 shields, +3 armor, +3 weapons. A +3 spell book or a focus.
Like you see it in wands, but like in a book or an orb or anything like that?
Wands are so rare to find like an actual +3, a magical item, a magical weapon that is a spell. No, you don't see it too much. And that is one of the things that Cosmic does really, really well is, I don't know if you go out of your way, Cosmic, to do this, or if you just naturally come across these ideas, but filling those gaps where we don't see.
I think he's mentioned it a couple of times, but a lot of the times it's like a lot of stuff is overused. And I feel like Cosmic's mind constantly goes to what isn't overused, what's underused, what's something I can go and seek out and find a better way to use this. So I don't know. I'm here for it.
Fucking Murder Rose. All right. So I'm already liking this. Again, it's focusing on something that I think is underutilized, which is a magical tome. So we have a +3 bonus to spell attacks and spell save DCs. Fantastic. I'm loving it. It's already tickling your brain. Yes. Like, Cosmic does some great stuff. I will say this, like, we are not the kind of people who are just going to sit here and pander to you. If you watch my high lows, we'll get critical. I'll tell you if I don't like something. I'll tell you if it's just not creative or if it's too OP. Cosmic just does some really cool, like, if you're into this kind of stuff, right? If you're into homebrewing and if you're into lore building and things with layers, Cosmic does
and
great.
What stuff can do. Like,
yeah, Cosmic does really good at giving us layers to talk about. Whether and again, Cosmic doesn't always agree with our mindsets, which is again what I love. I love that Cosmic doesn't come to us and been like, "What would you guys do?" and just takes it. I love that. And I think probably like 70% of the time, Cosmic's like, "Cool. I don't agree with you guys. I'm going to keep it the way it is." And I love that. But the fact that he brings it with such an open mind to see what we're going to say about it. And that's what I like. I want this to be an open dialogue of not what you're doing wrong. It's here's another idea. And if you don't like it, I'm not butthurt about it. And you're not butthurt. You're not mad that I said I would change it, but I'm not mad that you disagree with me. But I'm also not here to make you agree with me. I love it when you do. When you're like, oh, that's cool. Maybe I'll change that. Hey, that's great. But my ultimate goal is for me to give you an idea and you to not take that idea, but hopefully that idea give you a new idea. Maybe you take this idea, or maybe my idea cements your idea in your head. Maybe
just like with Murder Rose, it's that inspiration, man.
Exactly.
It inspires you to think something that you might not have thought otherwise.
That's the biggest hope for this next year is, again, to bring a community together where it's not about who's right or wrong, but it's giving enough people enough options to where they find the one that works for them. And again, even if you hear everything that both of us have to say and you're like, no, my idea is better, I helped you concrete that. I gave you a different perspective and you're like, nope, my idea is still good. Perfect. That's what I want. I don't want people to feel like they have to do any specific thing. I just want them to hear enough options to know what's right for them. But yeah, already spell attack, spell DC save. I'm fantastic. I love it so far. So it does require attunement. So far we've been pretty good with attunements on this homebrew review, right? Like on this channel so far, attunement hasn't been an issue. But we have talked about how and when and why you should do attunements, right?
A little bit.
This is one of those times where a book kind of makes sense, right? If you're going to get magical essence out of a book, you should probably...
Especially if it's a focus, especially if it's giving you that much addition to your power, I'm going to say there's going to need to be some sort of...
And it's kind of like it goes along with concentration and how spellcasting works. It's one of those things where we've talked about attunement being overused, but this is one of those times where you can't make that argument because we're talking about something that's underutilized, which is a tome or a spell book being bonused, magically imbued, but an attunement makes way more sense here. I'll be honest, this makes 10 times more sense to attune with this than it does with the shield.
A lot of the times people just throw at attunement because something's powerful. Like, I don't always think that it's a 1-to-1 ratio.
I think it's mainly because it's the idea of you can't have too many of these, so attunement's the way to limit you because you typically have a max. But again, I think this is the one that makes the most sense lore-wise to have attunement because it's going to do so much more. Okay, so the requirement of attunement is a wizard of the divination of enchantment or order of the scribes schools. And then when this item is within range of detect magic, its magic school is chronergy. Is that time?
Whoa, yes, it is. Hold on. So let's read that sentence again.
Yeah, chronergy is time magic, right?
Yes. So what is exactly did that say?
Okay, so it requires attunement of a wizard that is either of enchantment, the order of scribe schools, or the order of scribe schools. So you have to have, those are the two types of wizards that can enchant it, right? You have to be an enchanter or
that can use this. Only one of the two schools of wizards can use this.
Of the divination enchantment.
So you can't even be an evocation wizard and use this. You can't be a college, not college of the swords.
You have You have to be divination or the scribe schools. So one of these two basically will set you up for working with time.
Fire.
Yeah. No, I'm already liking that
one of these days. But okay, I'm very curious why it shows up as the school of chronergy. Like, I'm very curious what this ends up doing.
Yeah. He says, Cosmic says that it lines up with the fourth secret effect. So we'll get into that. But I do like that, you have to have some sort of concept of time or be able to predict things in the future.
He says divination also.
Yeah. So divination or scribe schools, chronology. I'm so far, I'm catching the drift, right? I'm already on board with this. Okay. So, where is this? Okay, there's no. Okay, I see these.
Oh, it says divination, enchantment, and scribes. Got it.
What's up?
I was just checking. So when it says requires attunement, there's 3. There's divination, enchantment, and scribes.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
I thought.
No, that's good.
Yeah, divination, enchantment, and then scribe schools. And then this item, and then the second part. So when this item is within range of the detect magic spell, so when you use detect magic on it, its school is chronology.
Yes,
so its item
because you can usually tell what school of magic a magic item is emanating with the detect magic spell. That's why that's important.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then as some specialty notes here, a weapon said to have been created before the world itself was. None understand how such a thing is possible. Who created it? It was made by a god of the realm in its previous state before it was reset to what it is currently. Not even the gods of the modern age know its origin, nor understand the meaning of its contents. I look at it. Cosmic does. If you guys go back to the YouTube channel and look at all of the homebrew reviews, Cosmic does amazing layering with his backstory stuff. The second note here is at DM discretion, this item may be granted alongside with a 1d3 random spell scroll of 7th level or higher, containing spells from any class. I kind of like that. The idea that you've stumbled across this and there's still spells left inside. Not fully written, right? It's not a full spell book, but there's still some spells left from the previous owner. I like that. That just, that's so good for lore building. That's so good for lore building.
I'm here for it.
So, as an action, placing a spell scroll into this tome and closing the tome's cover, you can choose one of the following effects based on the command word you speak. I'm already liking it. I'm already in on this. So this idea that this spell scroll, like I haven't even read yet, but the idea of because I've thought of so many different ways of doing something similar myself, where you can have basically like an automation thing, where it's like some kind of like magical spell book where you can add a scroll and it adds a page to the book instead of the scroll, right? So I'm already just intrigued of this idea that you could take a scroll and put it inside the book and it does some shit. Oh yeah, I am so excited. I'm so down for this. Let's go. Okay, so as an action, you can place a spell scroll into the tome and then close the cover. At that point, you can choose one of the following effects. Effect number 1, command word transcribe. If you put a scroll that contains a spell not on the wizard's spell list, the tome can automatically translate the writing into a language you can read and understand, including Thieves' Cant. I don't agree with that, just because Thieves' Cant can't be written.
Yes.
Thieves' Cant is not a writtenable language, so I'm going to disagree with you there. Including Thieves' Cant in case of a wizard rogue multi-class. I understand where you're going with this, but unfortunately I disagree because traditionally Thieves' Cant is not writable.
So, question, because a lot of the times, like, I've seen weird symbols on the wall, like if you've ever seen like Blade and like a lot of the stuff, you know, things that like guide you to not necessarily runes, but like maybe graffiti, but like graffiti strategically placed, or things of that nature. Can that be considered a written form of Thieves' Cant?
I would not agree, because traditionally Thieves' Cant is the ability to have a conversation similar to the one you and I are having right this second.
Yes,
but we know certain words mean certain things.
Very much so.
I could say that same sentence and go, we know particular words are particular things. Or I could say certain words are particular things. Or I could say certain particular words are certain things.
Yes, and they all mean different very things.
We'll know exactly what that means. But to the outside observer, there is no distinguishable difference between any of those sentences. That to me is what Thieves' Cant is you and I having a public conversation that on the outside sounds normal and is in no way obscure, but you and I are on a different level. Translating that into writing, I feel breaks it down into, well, now you have to have a one solid known writing context, whereas Thieves' Cant to me is more of a contextual, you and I are in the business, we're in from different towns, but we can still speak because we know enough certain lingo. Mm-hmm. And so again, high point only.
I get what you're saying.
But I have always, just at my heart, looked at Thieves' Cant as a verbal only. And I do believe, at least, again, because I have second edition as my foundation, I believe second edition actually does have it in there that Thieves' Cant is a verbal only language. If I remember correctly, I could be wrong. But again, you're not wrong.
Neither here nor there. But it's just that's
the only thing I would change for High Point. But I do like the fact, I will point out though, I love the fact that he's thinking about a wizard rogue combo. So he's adding in, just in case there's no fuckery, you can always read it. I get it. I get why he's trying to make it even more secretive. I just don't think you need that, especially with like a wizard's quill and wizard's ink. And there's there's a certain wizard's way of writing where it's like magical writing, where you can write and no one else can understand it. So I think we're solving a problem that can already be solved. But again, I like the idea of where you're going. I don't dislike it. So you can put a scroll in, close the book, transcribe. It'll transcribe it into any language you can read. So basically, if it's typically a spell scroll you would not be able to cast because it's not part of your spell list, this book makes it part of your spell list. It makes it so you can cast a spell even if you normally couldn't. I'm not upset with that. Now,
the question is, does it make it a wizard spell? Now, the reason why I asked that is because your spell casting, if it's still technically a cleric spell, then your spell casting ability is
let me read this whole thing, because we have a problem with this. Let me read this whole thing in one go. So, option 1, when you put the book, so you put the spell in the book, close the cover. Option 1, command word transcribed. You put the scroll, and it contains a spell that is not on the wizard spell list. The tome can automatically translate the writing into a spell you can read and understand. The time taken for this process is 1d6 hours plus the spell's level. Once the process is complete, you can cast a spell a single time as normal despite not being on the wizard spell list. A first level spell scroll would take 1d6 plus 1 hours. So he's not saying that this can be permanently part of your spell book. It's just saying that it's translating a spell scroll you could not normally read into a single use spell scroll you can read. In this context, I think it doesn't change it into a wizard spell. So in this context, what I think would be the better verbiage is the tome takes a spell scroll and turns it into a scroll
of X, Y, and Z.
Yes. If you guys understand the difference. So a scroll of invisibility is a scroll with a spell that has all the components needed that anyone that can cast, that no one that doesn't, you don't even have to be able to cast magic. You read it, the spell goes away off the spell gets cast, all the components are in the spell, and anybody can use it. A spell scroll is something that's specific to the class and to the type of caster. So what I would almost say is that this is transferring one into the other. It's taking something that you would normally not be able to cast and giving you a one-time use, regardless of where it's from. So it's essentially turning a spell scroll into a scroll of X.
Right.
I like it. I actually, for a +3 legendary item like this, I'm actually not upset with that. That doesn't feel OP.
That's not...
That actually feels legit. The only way I could say that, because it's a single use, you might be able to make an argument that this should only be able to be done once per day. But realistically, it's a one-time use. It's just a translator. I don't necessarily mind that, because it's a one-time option. Like, you know how in those games
you have those scrolls of identify that you run around and find, so exactly. You can like identify.
That's all it's doing.
That's literally all this is doing. It's just identifying this scroll so that you can freaking cast it, man.
I like it. I
that's super cool.
Think that this is actually a really I like it 100%. Cosmic says, okay, so Love Murder Rose, think of the road symbols in Skyrim. Okay, so when we were talking about like Thieves' Cant.
Yeah.
I still think that that's more of a specific type of language. I think that's separate from Thieves' Cant. Again, personal opinion.
And that's fair.
Cosmic says, Effect 1 was inspired by the Warlock's pact ability, Eyes of the Rune
And so I just looked that up. All that is that the Warlock can read all writing. Period. Like,
perfect.
That's exactly what it says.
Absolutely.
You can read all writing. That's the vibe I feel like they're going for.
This is why I have him, and I know why he's a crutch, because he looked that up before I even knew it was in the chat. That is why he's a crutch, and I need to get better. And then he says, the Tuesday DM, I made a Ranger Warlock character, did agree Eyes of the Rune Keeper can read spell scrolls that you can't otherwise read. Okay, so he's going off of another DM's ruling. No, I 100% think that it's not something, I don't know if something low level would be able to accomplish this, like, comprehend language, but I 100% believe something this high level should be able to accomplish something like this. Love Murder Rose, I love this. A spell scroll is a hamburger helper. It tells you what to do, but you have to do it yourself. A scroll of XYZ is a Lunchable. It's ready to eat. Bye!
Oh my gosh. That hurt.
I wish Vixie was paying attention right now. I think Vixie would be losing her shit over that description. Also, be careful how you pronounce the command word. If you say transcribe, I show up with equivalent parchment.
Oh, fantastic.
Okay, don't put the space in there if you don't want to summon somebody.
Listen, we were talking about your spell words being very specific. You got to say it right.
Sematical components matter. Okay, or verbal components matter. Sematical components matter. Leviosa.
Whatever, it's fine.
Oh, that was fantastic. I love this. I love our community. I don't care if it's small. Our community is fantastic so far.
This is wonderful.
Okay, so back to the item. This is amazing. I already like the idea of being able to find something that you couldn't normally use and give yourself a one-time use. It's a one-time use. If this was trying to make it a part of your current spell list, way OP. Don't care what level it is.
Mm-hmm.
One-time use, like basically a fucking Google Translate of a spell.
Okay.
I'm down for it. Option number 2.
All right.
Command word upcast. The spell contained within the scroll. So again, all of these are prefaced by you put the scroll inside the book.
Yeah.
The spell contained within the scroll can be upcast at any level up to 9th. If you do not possess a slot for the desired level, you gain 1 point of exhaustion for each spell slot level above your maximum upon casting the spell.
So if you are trying to cast...
Hold on. So for instance, Fireball is a level 3 spell. If the highest spell level you can use is 5th, Using this benefit to cast the spell at 6th level will give you 1 exhaustion point, 2 points of exhaustion if cast at 7th, and so on.
Got it.
I just want to make sure we read it all before we go on a tangent.
No, that's fair. I was just about to... Yep.
Okay. So immediately, I'm hesitant because... Do y'all know what level 9th spells do? Like, has anyone... Like, y'all know what level 9 spells for?
So, the question is, when would you be able to cast a level 9 spell without killing yourself? Well, at what level, using this, would you be able to cast a level 9 spell?
But what I'm saying is, like, the power, the sheer magnitude of a level 9 spell, like, what they're actually meant for. My only hesitation is the idea that you can take any spell and essentially upcast it. I would be hesitant because not every spell can justifiably be cast at 9th level.
I would say any spell that has upcastability, because like if you look in the spell's description, not every spell's description.
That totally makes sense. Totally makes sense.
So
but that's what I'm saying is like it's just the way it's written. My immediate hesitation is not all spells are justifiably extendable to level 9, and I mean, I know it's only a one-time thing to just upcast it one time to a level 9 spell, but it's like I like the exhaustion. I like the balance of adding exhaustion. It's just that I don't know. Level 9 spells are just one of those things where it's like.
So here's how I am envisioning this ability being used. All right. So there is a wizard somewhere and he has a spell of fireball, for instance. Right.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Fucking Murder Rose's comment. So I cast Magic Missile at 9th level, targeting all of that country over there. Like, my point being, it's like when you think about upcasting it, but also Cosmix does point out, but it does say spell contained in the scroll, which doesn't mean or include your own spells. It needs to be via the scroll. So I do understand that it's only whatever scroll you put in. It's just that, I don't know, for me, level 9 scrolls are always a very touchy area when you start to try to upcast into that high of a level. Is just because it's one of those.
Is there something specific you're concerned about when it comes to that?
For me, it's more of the old school mentality of what level 9 spells represent. Like there's, like the sheer power level of them. So for this book to be able to provide that, my hesitation is more in the powers of this tome and not in the fact. Like, I don't mind it as an ability. I think it's a cool concept to upcast to level 9. But as a action, like one option is to cast any spell outside of your spell book. Another option is to cast any spell up to level 9, even with taking exhaustion points. But my hesitation is just surely the power of the book being able to take anything and go, it's level 9 now. It's just,
I will say,
I know it's still required for the spell. There's still balance there. But I can go buy spells. I can go buy the cheapest spells, throw them in that book, and at the cost of exhaustion at any time have a level 9 spell. And again, from an old school, keep in mind, this is from somebody who plays old school 2nd edition.
So where's that?
Level 9 spells weren't meant to be common back then. So the idea of a level 9 spell is also just scary to me because level 9 spells were meant to be like the best of the best.
So here's the deal. At level 5, you get the ability to cast cast 3rd level spells.
Yeah.
You can when you take 6 points of exhaustion, you die.
So what's the lowest level you can basically cast?
Level 5.
Level 5.
Well, level 5, you'll cast it and you'll die.
Okay, so you
level
have to
5 you can.
Level 5.
So in order to go above that, it'll be 7th level. You get 4th level, and so you could cast a 9th level spell and get you take 5 levels of exhaustion instead of 6. So you'll be almost dead.
So there is the balance of it could be considered a last-ditch effort. You can only do it once.
I would say this.
Only do it once.
I would say this. Yes. I honestly don't even think you should be able to cast. I think it should be harder. Like, you know how when you're doing the point buy system, it starts off as it only costs you 1, but then the higher you go, it starts costing you 2 points. So if you want to get 14 and 15, it'll cost you 2.
Well,
like that's the mentality that I have. Like,
remind
I
me
think
of exhaustion. How does exhaustion work exactly?
So I will pull this up.
I don't use exhaustion in second edition.
Where are you? You're right here. So is it conditions or is it going to be effects? Exhaustion.
My biggest thing is, again, it could just be because I'm old school player and ninth level spells were reserved for legendary wizards. So a book to be able to do that, it's just more of my hesitation is when can you acquire this book?
And that's fair. And so honestly,
because like you're saying, if you could basically, it's a latch ditch effort, and if you do anything else, you're basically gonna die after you do this.
Mm-hmm.
If that is past level 10, that's fine. But if at level 10 you're basically just doing this as a I'm just gonna wipe the battlefield, that's my concern. Like, it feels like this should be something that needs something, as in you only do this once.
Here's what I would do. I would say, in order to push a spell into 9th level, it is going to cost you 3 points of exhaustion. In order to push
1 point up to 8, and then the final one is 3 more.
No. So let me finish. So to push a spell into 9th level, it's going to cost you 3 points of exhaustion. Period. No matter what. To push a spell into 7th or 8th level, it's going to cost you 2 points of exhaustion. So if you have the ability to cast 6th level spells and you want to pump it into 7, it's going to cost you 2 points of exhaustion.
Okay, so how does exhaustion work again?
So exhaustion is like this. First level of exhaustion gives you disadvantage on ability checks.
But how many until you die? Like, what's the point of exhaustion? 6.
6 levels of exhaustion and you die.
So what if you did this? What if you can take any spell, the book can take any spell up to 6th level for free. 7th level requires 1 point of exhaustion. 8th level requires 3 points of exhaustion, 2 plus 1. 9th level, or
I would say the first ones shouldn't be free. They'd still cost you at least 1.
Well, because I'm trying to think of, like, if
because it's past your level.
Because 9 would basically, like, the idea is that you die at 6 levels of exhaustion.
Correct.
Because 9 should basically bring you to near death, but not death. So 9 should give you 5.
But, like, say if you're a 12th level wizard or something like that, and you have the ability to cast 8th level spells.
Oh, only bumping it up.
Bumping it up 1. Do you think that should push you to near death no matter what?
So it should almost be like 9th level will cost you 5. From 8 to 9 will cost you 5. 7 to 8 will cost you 4. 6 to 7 will cost you 3, then 2, then 1. Because that way, basically, again, depending on how high of a level you're trying to cast up,
and that's
it's going to add all. Because again, so that would mean that a 5 to 6 would be 1, but a 5 to 7 would be 3, because a 6 to 7 is 2. So a 5 to 7, because remember, it's so if you think about it, if 8 to 9 is 5. Right? So no matter what level you are, a 8th level spell to 9th level is going to cost you 5 points of exhaustion. But a 7 to 9 would technically cost you more than you could afford. Well, no, because then that doesn't make any... No, that doesn't work. Yeah. Okay, so...
I think the step down should work, especially because when you balance it out, like, when you're at those higher levels...
So tell me again, one more time. What's the minimum level before death? Like, what's the minimum level for this to even work? Exhaustion-wise.
So if you take 5 levels of exhaustion, your speed is reduced to 0, but you're not dead yet.
So 5. So
yes, you can take 5 levels of exhaustion and still be alive.
And this idea is saying that you take 1 level of exhaustion for every point over.
Wait, what does it say after that? It says 2 points of exhaustion if it costs...
You gain 1 point of exhaustion for each level slot above your max. So the higher you can.
Oh, that was just the description of it. Okay,
so the higher you can cast. So basically, if you can cast a level 7, it's going to cost you nothing to upcast to 9. I think that's where we're
not exactly. So if you're casting into 9th, no matter what, it's going to cost you 3. Period. Even if you're 8th level, even if you can cast 8 levels, and so you can cast.
So how about this? So how about it's 3 plus 1 for every level beyond your max?
Sure.
That would be it.
Sure.
So if you're at 5th level, it's going to 9, it's 3 plus 4. So you die. You can't do it. But if you're 7th, it's just 3. If you're 6th, it's 3. If you're 5, it's 3 plus 1. If it's a 4th level spell, it's 3 plus 2.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea could be it's 3 minimum plus however many levels over your max. That means that if you are a level 5 trying to cast a level, so basically you can't be a level 5 character casting a level 3 spell and upcasting to level 9. You would die because you'd have 6 levels of exhaustion, more than 6 levels of exhaustion.
Yeah.
So yeah, something like that I would accept. I think I would accept a 3 plus every level beyond your max. I think that would make it more viable. Especially later in the fight, like especially when you're level 15 and you're already casting level 8 spells. Like you said, what's 1 point of exhaustion? If you can cast 6 spells in a match, 5 of those are going to be upcast to level 9, period, right? Like, why would I not? If I can take 6 levels of exhaustion in a fight, but I can cast 6 spells in a fight, why would I not guarantee that all my 8 level spells are 9 level spells?
So like what this would do is like even if you're whatever level,
even if you're casting a level 8 spell,
if I am a level 16, if I'm a level 16 caster, which is when I have is just before I get the ability to cast 9th level spells. So I don't have the ability. I can cast 2 9th level spells before I will die.
Yeah.
I will cast 2 before I can die.
I think that feels like a little bit better.
The second one will kill me.
I think that's a better balance because, again, the idea that you're casting spells that, again, 9th level spells to me are supposed to be for masters of magic. So the idea that you're casting them should be a toll on you.
And it's not an instantaneous, you recover from all your levels of exhaustion. You have to take some time to recover from all of these. So it's not like every
other encounter just because of a long rest.
Exactly. It's not like going to be like crazy spammable. It's going to be like, you're going to have to recover from the toll you're putting on your body every single time you cast that high.
Yeah. I think that would be a better route to go personally for like High Point, is having a minimum, so that way no matter what you can't just spam these at higher levels. Like the idea would be to lower it down but still have the ability at a low level to give that
say if
punch.
You wanted to like throw some like 5th level spells out there before 5th level spell, so to upcast some 5th level spells to 5th level spells, like before you had the ability to you could do that a couple of times.
Well, and even be able to upcast Fireball twice, because that would be 4 levels of exhaustion.
Yeah,
that's still a massive improvement. Like, I would be down for that.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we have a third ability, which is Consume. That is the command word for Consume.
Okay. 3A, it says.
The spell contained within the scroll can be consumed, with its magic converting into charges for the tome equal to the spell's level. So if you have a 3rd level spell, it's going to give you 3 charges. Once the tome has 20 charges, I like this already. Once it has 20 charges, I already like that we're building up to something. You can use reactions on subsequent turns to expend any number of charges and add or subtract them to any attack rolls, ability checks, or saving throw on any creature, yourself included, that you can see, and that is within 90 feet of you. You cannot use this effect if you are blind or unconscious. 1 charge is +2 or -2, your choice to a roll. The only thing I disagree with is it shouldn't be to anybody you can see. It should be to yourself only. I 100% I like the idea of sacrificing a spell scroll, and the number of the level is the number of charges. I like the idea that you can use these charges kind of like inspiration points.
So read it to me one more time.
Okay, so basically, you take a spell, whatever the level is.
Okay.
You can consume it, and that's how many charges the book receives.
That part I get.
Once you get to 20.
Okay, once I get to 20.
you can start using this.
So I have to max it out to 20. I can't start using it before I max it out.
You can use reactions on subsequent turns once it reaches 20 to expend any number of charges and add or subtract them to attack rolls, ability checks, or saving throws on any creature, yourself included, that you can see.
So I would say, to counter what you're saying, I would say it has to be someone that's interacting with you. So what I mean by that is...
So you can stop an attacker.
Yes. So I can say your attack roll against me based on
the other things that we've already done with the spell, based on the fact that it basically translates spells, the fact that it can upcast spells. Yes. 100%. I do not agree it's any ally that you can see. I agree that anybody, you could basically up or decrease or increase any attack roll that you make or anyone makes on you.
Yes.
I don't even care if it's ranged. I would even allow it to be a ranged attack.
I think that would be very cool.
But it has to be on the holder. I do not agree with
what
any
about
of your allies.
AoE? Now, what I mean by that is like... So for instance, if somebody casts Fireball on you, you can use this ability for your saving throw against that Fireball.
Yes.
But I mean, granted,
but you're not saving anybody else.
You're not saving anybody else.
No. Okay. I would say that I like this. You either can, in a situation like that, you would use it against yourself because it's the best thing to do is a saving throw. But if someone's attacking you with a melee attack, you can decrease their ability to attack you, right? Like you can decrease their to hit chance. I think that should be available. I'm not 100% agreeing that it should be any ally you can see. Cosmic says if a creature has something like a plus 18 to hit, this still gives you the chance to make their attacks miss.
It goes right up against what he said before. That it says,
the intent. Sorry. So the intent is that your party is low level compared to whatever you're fighting, to make it so any attacks the opponents do aren't always guaranteed to hit due to the high modifiers. No, I understand that. I'm not saying that you're going in the wrong direction. I 100% disagree. I see where you're going, and I like it. I do like the item, but the way I would represent it is I just don't think that adding those modifiers to a situation that you're not involved in, I just, from a tome and a spell book, it's almost like basically saying that this has like a counter spell to other people. I think it should more be directed upon the holder. I think that you can bonus your own rolls, or you can decrease rolls made against you. I think that's a fantastic way to do it. I see where you're going with Cosmic. I don't disagree or say that it's a bad idea. I just I would prefer if it stood with the person holding the tome.
And I think that kind of feels like that goes towards his intent with it as well. I do think it's worded like somebody could make the excuse like, oh, I can use it on my friends or like any of my allies, but I think
it's only because the idea of, again, it's like, if pre-battle I just shoved a whole bunch of spells in there and loaded it up, at any point I could be like, yep, you're not taking damage, you're not getting hit, you're not doing that. Like, it just feels almost like it's not the idea of a mage, where this particular ability feels like it should be the mage who got accidentally caught in battle and is using this to get the fuck out. Or like to me, this is more defensive than it should be.
Theoretically,
offensive.
The way it's worded, I could cast a spell on you, and I could decrease your roll to my saving throw.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
So I could
100%.
I could use it offensively as well as defensively if I wanted to increase my own attack rolls against you or something like that.
And that's what I'm saying is like I feel.
But
like,
yeah, I do very much hear like the personal aspect of it.
I think you were correct. You hit it on the head. Anything that's interacting with the person, I think, is the right direction to go. I love the get up to 20 and then you can use it for the rest of the encounter. I think that should be the verbiage. Once it's up to 20, once you start using it, you have to use it.
It's almost like it's charging, and then when it hits that charging, like the whole thing starts to glow, and then it slowly gets used up.
Once it hits 20, the moment you use it, it's going to deplete itself at the end of that encounter or at the end of that day.
Oh, well.
Like the idea is like once you get it to 20, once you start using it, it's going to be used up by the end of that day, that encounter.
Interesting.
And then you have to count it back up.
I do think that should be included in the word.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, I think there should be something about like how that works. But I love this idea, though. I love the idea of consuming spells and giving... not just a protection, right? I love the idea that this can be used for offensive and defensive.
Yeah.
I'm loving this idea, Cosmic. Don't get me wrong. I'm just not a fan of the idea that I'm holding this book. This book has so much magical potential, and that guy 60 feet away, I don't like what's happening over there.
Boom, I stop it. Yeah.
No. I'm sorry. I don't feel like that jives with what you're building here. I honestly think that the idea of, hey, your saving throw to my spell, I'm decreasing that saving throw, or the attack chance I'm doing, I get, or you're attacking me and I'm a wizard and I'm a glass cannon, I'm dropping your attack roll. That is what I feel like it should be the best part.
This does use your reaction, right? Okay.
And it uses your reaction, so again, I really feel like it should be focused on the person.
So if I'm casting a spell on another spellcaster,
although I do like the balance of the reaction, I don't want to undermine that. The fact that he tied it to a reaction is amazing,
especially because
so amazing that
if you use your reaction, you can't counterspell. But if somebody's trying to counterspell something you're casting, can I use this on their counterspell? Because it's technically interacting with me.
Because again, I don't see why not. I think that this leads itself to a great offensive, but primarily meant for defensive approach for wizards. I think being able to use it on other players almost undermines how beneficial it is to the wizard, right? I really think that the wizard should be the primary benefactor. We got some more stuff in chat.
I'm gonna use the bathroom.
Cosmic says if the we already said it. So 3B, we haven't gotten to 3B yet, but 3B is due to my experience with healing spells. They just seem to never heal for enough health. I cannot agree with you more. I am dreadfully hateful of how healing works in D&D in general, both 2nd edition and 5th edition. I hate it. Especially if you're doing a healing as a prep for an even bigger fight. Yep. I've had times where a 6th level upcast healing spell, I forget the specific one, only heals for about half the target's max base. No. So oh my gosh, you've hit a soft spot, like a soft spot for me, because I absolutely cannot stand how D&D does healing. It has never made sense to me. Like, the fact that the most basic healing is a 1d4, who the fuck cares about a 1d4 after level 3? Like, seriously, by the time you have more than 10 hit points, healing for a 1d4 like is so useless. You have 30 hit points and you're gonna give me less than 10% of my life. If I have 30, 40 hit points, that guy over there is hitting me for a D8. Fuck your D4 in hit points. What is a D4 going to matter against 2d8 worth of damage? Fuck all is what I'm saying. I 100%, as you can see, this is a soft spot for me. There's a reason why I went through this when I did my 5e in Discord.
Things happened while I was gone.
When I went through my custom healing flasks and the codes that I did for all of the levels of healing, because I absolutely despise the way D&D does healing. It is A, not representative of what HP is meant to be representative of, and B, it's fucking useless 80% of the time. Like, are you serious? I'm in the middle of a fight with people who are doing like 3d6 damage and you want to give me a fucking plus 1d6 health? What is that going to do?
So
nothing.
I was playing with the idea of having spells that did healing a little bit differently than we're used to. Instead of like rolling hit dice, like have a spell that brings you to half health.
I'm going to tell you right now, I hate fucking hit dice.
Have a spell that brings you to half health. Have a spell that brings you to full health. Have a spell that like just brings you to like a milestone.
This is why most of the way that I do healing in High Point is like all of the flasks, the vials, all of those are meant to basically progress with your level, right? You're not meant to have a tiny flask of healing at level 10. It's not going to do shit for you. At that point, you want a vial. You want you want the heavier ones that are going to do real healing for you. I have vastly redone how healing works in High Point, because again, it doesn't represent what HP is meant for, right? Like the idea of it being more than just your life essence. And just, yeah, healing does not work. I am going to 100% agree with Cosmic on this one. Yeah, like healing can be so much better.
Did we actually go over 3B yet? Did I miss it?
No, we're going to go over that right now. So
okay.
He's just saying that 3B is due to his experience with healing spells not being enough. So 3A, you consume it and you can increase or decrease rolls. I think we're on the same page. We'd like to see that more so with individual interactions. Now, 3B, consume it's still consume, but when it still gets to 20 charges. I'm assuming Cosmic, it's still to 20 charges. But when you or a creature you can see casts a healing spell on you, you can use a reaction. So same thing with level 1 or 3A. You can use a reaction to consume minimum 10 charges to double the amount healed, with any overhealing becoming temp HP that lasts until you finish a long rests. I like the idea, but here's where I feel like it could be simplified, kind of like what we were talking about. So if you simplified 3A into once you have 20 charges, you can adjust anything by any amount, up to 20 charges, any of those rolls. If you took the advice that we have and said it has to be interactable, right? It's not anyone you can see. It's only people you are dealing with or are dealing with you. This would already be tied into that, because you could just add in this also works for healing spells. Healing spells that you cast or that are cast on you. I think add both of these together. Once you have 20 points.
So are you saying it's going to be a plus or minus 2 for the healing? Or are you saying it's going to be...
So once you get to 20 points, right? You shove it full of spells and you get 20 points. Once you have 20 points, I think both of these are combined. I think what you should do is, once the tome has 20 charges, you can use your reaction. You can use a reaction to expend any number of charges to add or subtract to any attack, ability, saving throw, or healing on any creature you can see, or any creature that's... Because guess what? If you can do that against an enemy who's trying to heal one of their allies, and you could be like, oh, you're healing them for 1d6? Let's reduce that by 5.
Can you read the original 3B again for me?
When you or a creature you can see casts a healing spell on you, you can use a reaction to consume minimum 10 charges.
It says minimum 10 charges, okay.
To double the amount healed, with any overhealing becoming the HP that lasts until you finish a long rest. So 10 of the 20 charges, so half the charges, and you can double a healing effect that either you're giving or receiving. I say what should happen is the whole deal should be, once you have 20 charges, those 20 charges can be spent on as a reaction on any attack, ability check, saving throw, or healing to you or from you. I think all of those should be effective.
I like what you're saying, but
because that means you can add up to 20 healing, or take away up to 20 healing against an enemy.
Yes,
I like
but that's only 20 healing. And again, that doesn't scale when you get higher in levels.
That's fair.
And I like the idea that he's talking about specifically doubling. So here's what my idea is. Instead of purely linking them, I would say, and I wouldn't charge you 10 charges to double a healing word. I would not charge you 20.
Especially with what we're dealing with here, because you're sacrificing spell scrolls. I 100% agree.
I would say you would have to spend a charge per the spell's level to double it. So for a level 1 healing word, 1 charge will double it. But a level 3 healing word, 3 charges will double it.
Why not double to double? Like
what's that?
Level 1, 2 to double it. I think that makes it a little bit better balancing.
So that means I'm spending 6 charges to to double a level 3 healing spell.
What's the average level 3 healing spell?
Let's take a look at that, because I think that
you're right. No, you have a good point. It has to be balanced. So if doubling a level 3 healing spell doesn't feel justifiable, I can understand. I'm just making sure that 1 to double it isn't too much, right?
Right. And it's only 1 for level 1 spells. So that's Cure Wounds and Healing Word. That's
true.
it.
No,
those are the only ones.
That's true.
Unless there are other healing.
So what's level 3 healing spell?
That's a good question. That's a good question. You know what? Let me just look at Cleric.
And then Cosmic also the note here: these charges slowly dissipate over time at a rate of 1 charge each day at dawn. I disagree. I think this whole thing should be once you start using, because the idea is that you can get beyond 20 charges, right? It's only a minimum of 20. So he doesn't have a cap, which Cosmic, please tell us if there's a cap if we haven't gotten to it yet. But he hasn't said that there's a cap. It's only at minimum 20. So the problem is that he says that they deteriorate. So do we agree that they always deteriorate, period, and you just have to constantly keep it charged? Or should they start to deteriorate once you've started to use them? But then if you've waited from level 1 to level 20 to ever use this thing and you have like 300 points, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
It becomes OP. So the idea that you have to keep it charged, like it's just going to like lose a point every day.
The cap is 20.
Oh, the cap is 20. Okay. So the cap is 20 and every day it loses a point. Actually, I like that. I like that.
So
basically you have to continuously feed it a spell in order to constantly have these on the ready. I don't dislike that.
Real quick, going back to 3rd level, the first 3rd level spell that I found that's technically a healing spell is actually a necromancy spell, and it's the caster takes 48 necrotic damage and heals the target for double that amount. That's a 3rd level spell. So technically this spell does
what's the max it can do?
So 48
6
that's was that
32?
32. So 32 times 2.
So then times 2.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. So
6 charges for but that's only if they do the max.
But but that's the point, is you have to look at it from that's why he's leaving it to the spell's effect, right? But still, the fact that you could 32 times 4 is what it's 32 times 2 and then that times 2. Because what this ability is doing is doubling whatever the effect is. So the potential max is 32.
Let's do this. Let's look at Cure Wounds.
Yep.
Cast at level 3.
Okay.
So Cure Wounds cast at level 3 is going to be 1d8. So that's going to be 3d8 at level 3.
Max? So what's that max?
That maxed is 16, 26, right?
24?
24.
So that twice. So then that doubled. So the max could be nearly 50.
For 6 points, is that worth it to you?
For this, yes. For the way that this is built, because that scales. Because again, think about now that's a low level. Think about how many points you have at the ability to cast that one spell. So now you're having almost 50 HP. That's almost a fighter at full health. So yes, I do think
that's going to be almost half your day's charges.
Yes.
Because your max is 20. Almost half your day's charges potentially
but think about this. Think about
a quarter of your health.
But think about a fighter who has 50, 60 health at these levels that we're talking about. Low levels, right? Like lower levels. He has 50, 60 health. You're starting to lose the battle and you pull this off. You burn 6 of your charges, but you've put him back to square one. His whole battle has just restarted.
Now think about that same fight, again, that's on a fighter. This is supposed to be for a wizard specifically. I mean, you can multi-class, of course, and so you could be a wizard fighter multi-class. But specifically, and again, wizards are going to have much lower health, so this is going to be way more
but I'm
beneficial.
Looking at it for the idea of you can also boost spells that you're casting too, right? So
sure.
I'm looking at it from the point of view of I need to cast this on my buddy. I could literally put him back to full halfway through the fight. I think that's worth it.
If you are level 15, are you going to use that ability?
At level 15, what's the highest what's the highest? Because again, it depends. What's the highest level you can?
Are you going to use it on a 3rd level spell? Am I going to use it on Cure Wounds? If I'm casting Cure Wounds, am I going to spend 6 points to double that at 3rd level?
But that's still nearly 50 points of health.
Yes.
Even at 15th level, 50 points of HP is a lot. That's the thing. It's like this is actually making like what Cosmic said. This
one
is
of the things I
actually
wanted
kind of
to ask you.
healing
One of
work.
the things I wanted to ask you guys, because one of my friends wants to do a Christmas one shot, a level 20 Christmas one shot, and I decided to make an open hand monk character for it, and so I wanted to like just brainstorm on like how to go about playing that, but so it kind of plays into this because if I want to be able to do stuff at like really high levels, like I don't know how to like find out like what the average. Okay, so I just rolled for my HP, and at level 20, my HP is almost 200.
So you're telling me that this thing for 6 points is going to give you
a quarter.
A quarter. Yes. I 100% believe that a quarter of these a quarter of this tome's thing to give you a quarter of your life, even at that level, I think is game changing and does specifically what Cosmic is pointing out. And again, I'm leaning into what Cosmic is pointing out. Later in life, like later in the game, D&D has a very hard time with healing. Healing sucks.
Very much so.
After level like 8, healing
Which is why
sucks.
I wanted to feel
and
useful
so
late in the game, because that's when it's crucially to be beneficial to you.
And that's what I'm talking about, though, is the fact that at all stages, this actually does not feel game-changing, not feel OP, but this makes it actually feel like it's fucking worth it. Because
and it does mean
how many times
you have to spend 18 of these to do a 9th level one.
But also think about, as you progress, two different things. One, how many times do you roll for spells that you just don't fucking care about and you end up selling anyway? Level 1 and level 2 spells aren't that hard to come by. And then once you're at level 15 and 20, how cheap are spell scrolls? How cheap can they truly be after you raid a castle?
Let me get 20
horde?
spell scrolls real quick.
20
there's
level 1,
10 platinum.
20 level 1 spell scrolls. I'm charged for 24 hours. I hold on to 3 or 4 of those. I wait 3 or 4 days right before a battle. I infuse all of those. I'm at full charge right before the battle, and it only cost me 6 of those points to give someone up to a quarter of their health back.
And it's nice because how often do you find spell scrolls that you don't care about, that you don't need, that you don't want, that you're not going to use?
I think this is
having them with fodder. That's cool.
I think this is it. No. I honestly think this is very well balanced. Like again, you have to sacrifice the scroll. It's going to go away. Like every level of scroll that you put in is going to go away 1 per day. 1 level per day. So you have 20 days before you have to like I kind of personally dig it.
I would make them go away a little bit faster. I can
understand that.
I would probably say something to the effect of like,
I agree with you in the way that most D&D campaigns timeline falls out. Because you usually have like 15 encounters a week. So I totally understand what you're saying. But justifiably, the idea, though, is
very much
100%
very
solid
much so.
of
like
them going away. No, I fucking... Dude, no. Even if you did 3 a day, 3 points a day, so it really made this thing like you really have to supercharge it right before a battle. But no, you're right. Oh, man, no, this is... I like it though. Okay, we got some things in chat. Yes, 2 hours later, we still haven't gotten to the 4th effect. Did you expect anything less? Love Murder Rose says, so she just thought about this. Since it's a tome of history from pre-existence, perhaps 3B could be a bit stranger. As an action, you can place a bookmark in the tome. When you do, record your current HP until your next long rest. You can use a bonus action to spend 10 charges to remove the bookmark and return your HP to the value recorded.
I like that. That is
It might not work, but screw it. I'm stating this.
I freaking love that idea. That is so putting a literal bookmark at your HP. Just like, bro, let me just tag that in there right quick. Bro, that's crazy. Hold on, I'm adding that to my notes. Stand by. That is so cool. I'm sorry.
That's actually like, it's like a quick save. It's like a fucking tabletop quick save.
It's like you're about to die. Pull the bookmark out. All right, let's try this again. Oh, I'm out here acting crazy.
Oh man, that's such a cool idea, but it could use some tweaking. But yeah, that's not bad.
It's again, it's a raw idea. Like finding a way to like make that work. I think that would be very cool.
Yeah, that's so creative cool. Though. That is so creative. I like that. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so we have some more notes here. So so this is number 4. So this is not revealed by the attunement nor the identify spell. And it's the most potent source of chronology magic. So this is where the actual chronology magic will come into play. Only the creator, in the form of a vivid dream or vision, can tell the user about this ability. So this is completely secret. No one knows about it. And you have to basically get gifted this knowledge. But this is the 4th ability of this ability. Cosmic says, Effect 4 is crazy, but it's pretty limited. The creator himself, herself, itself, in the form of a vision or version, or even as a casting of divination. So you have to earn this. Like, you don't just know this. You have to earn this ability. You have to earn the knowledge that this happens.
I'm curious, after we're done reading this, if it's something that could technically be used by accident without knowing it.
I don't think so. I think the idea is that it has to be.
I'm curious.
And I would honestly say that that's the way it should be. I don't think secrets should be able to be accidental unless it's like...
I think that would be a kind of a cool...
Well, the deck of many things is one way to go about. Don't know until you use it. But the idea of like... Well, like his shields, right? Like his the scales. You don't know what's gonna happen until you die.
I like the idea of like, think about something like Dov's staff. Like, imagine like there's some dormant effect like that's in Dov's staff from way back when his dad was doing something and he's just never been able to access it. Maybe because he's never been able to access metal bending. But like,
would you stop metagaming, please?
I'm just.
Dov has plenty of secrets. Stop metagaming.
I'm not metagaming. I'm using this as an example for what we're talking about, because the idea behind having some ability that like you might be able to unintentionally tap into or discover or reach into one of these days when you just do something the right way and you're like, what was that? How did I make that happen? And then
it's a cool concept that I've played with before. It is really fun though when like you just wait for someone to like say the right word or the right phrase and you're like, oh, finally I get to show you this happens. Right? Yeah. It is really cool.
So anyways, let's read it. Let's actually
completely secret. You don't know about this until you earned it. Effect number 4, command phrase strengthen self. Cosmic says, in a nutshell, strengthen self is a rewriting time is like rewriting time to suppress your normal limitations. So, command word strengthen self. While the tome has full charges, so you have to charge it up to 20, you can whisper the command phrase to expend all charges and gain a +3 bonus to all base scores. Strength, Dex, Constitution, Wisdom, Intelligence, and Charisma for 2d8 days. Using hit points gained from this effect's buff to Constitution becomes temporary HP when the 2d8 days ends and overwrite any other temp you have at the time. So basically, you get 2d8 days to basically become an uber version of your character.
To get hulked out.
So, I love the idea. Like, I'm going to straight out say, I don't dislike the idea. My very first criticism that I'm going to walk away with, because I got to go to the bathroom real quick. I'm going to let you talk on this while I'm gone. My just initial knee-jerk criticism is that although I like this idea, it doesn't fit with the others. Like, in terms of...
I see what you're saying.
Expending 20 points for this does not feel the same escalation as we felt. It's almost like it's been going like, okay, this is cool, this is cool, this is cool. Went from 0 to 60 all of a sudden.
Right.
Like, it's now almost feels like, based on what else this thing can do, it's almost like the other stuff isn't powerful enough, or this is too powerful. Like 20 spell slots or whatever almost feels like not enough. So that's going to be my first knee jerk. I'm going to think on it for a second. I'll be right back, y'all.
Okay.
I'll let Kage continue to talk.
My question is, listen, I really love the idea of like emboldening yourself. And I think I kind of get where you were going initially with it, but the only thing I would say is this doesn't feel to me chronergy, because it's like if I am like rewinding time, like what am I doing that's beefing myself up? If I'm rewriting history, am I going back and doing a bunch of push-ups and sit-ups? Am I putting on some, better foundation so that I look better and have better charisma? Like, how am I rewriting history to improve myself? It almost feels like the Reality Stone from what do you call it? The Avengers, right? It feels like I'm just changing what was. I'm changing myself into this like uber version, like a weird super soldier, basically. Like, yeah, you're turning yourself into Captain America, right? So like, I definitely love the idea. Again, I don't know how I feel. I'm just trying to envision the balancing of it. Anytime I come up with one of these abilities, I'm like, all right, if I'm the player, how am I going to use this? When is this going to be applicable? How often am I going to be able to like do things with it? And so, number one, what kind of actual benefit do I get from every single one of my stats all the way being bumped like that? As a wizard, how often am I going to use strength? As a wizard, how often am I going to be using dex? Like, how often am I going to benefit from those extra 3 points that I got in all those other things? Would I, as a wizard, prefer to put all those extra points in my intelligence? Thank you, sir.
So I'm assuming that you're just talking about the fact of, is it as beneficial to get a +3 in all stats versus being able to pick and choose?
Right. And not necessarily pick and choose, but maybe say full dump. Maybe I want to do the full spread because I want to look beefy for this particular situation, or maybe I need to be crazy spellcaster and I want to like skyrocket my intelligence, make your saves that much harder, make my attacks that much harder.
To be completely honest, though, I think the balance is in the fact that it's a +3 across the board. Like, I think the balance is in that because, like you said, not every wizard who could get to this point or use this item is going to benefit in every single way, but any wizard who uses this item can benefit. So I think the balance could be said that you may not need a boost in your charisma, but you're getting it anyway. If it doesn't help you, guess what? That's the balance of it not being too overpowered, right? It can't always only benefit you.
I get that to a certain extent. It just, again,
I still think my original comment stands, though. It just feels like compared to what else it can do, seems like a sudden jump.
That was the other thing I was talking about. Is initially my thought was it doesn't feel chronergy. Like, if I'm thinking about rewriting history, if I'm thinking about time, like, this weirdly gives me more of a Reality Stone from the Avengers rather than the Time Stone from the Avengers.
Let me get to comments, but I just immediately thought of an idea. Let me get to comments real quick, though. Love Murderer says, I'd say it's great, but I feel like there should be a limitation on it because otherwise you can pump 20 level 1 scrolls in it, and when the 2d8 days ends, recast it. Exactly. It feels like, it's easy to replenish. Cosmic says it's meant to be as special since, as you worded it, you have to earn it. It needs to stand out somehow as a legendary item. So I do agree that, you don't just get this part right off the bat. But once you have it, once you know about it, it's kind of abusable. I think that's where we're all a little hesitant. Because the book also says the +3 is also to be consistent with the +3 the item has as a whole. Love Murder Rose says, all right, guys, it was really fun, but I got to go. Thank you so much, Love Murder Rose, for being here. I'm glad you got to get to see the update for your item. We loved having you. We will see you in January 8th, Monday. January 8th is when we'll be back. Thank you so much for being here today.
It's going to be a good night.
Have a great rest of your night.
Have a great holidays. Most definitely.
So even saying his +3 is because of the +3 item. So here's two items. Here's two things that I'm thinking of. Either why not be a +3 to 3 stats of your choice? There's your link to the +3.
I like that.
Or what I was thinking when you were talking is instead of being able to do, all what was it? Oh wait, what was the idea? What were you saying right before? You were commenting that.
You were talking about something. See, now I wish we could rewind this live.
Right. I mean, I technically can. It just takes a second. So when mixing the first event, school magic could be tried remotely. No other school works with the intent of how tried to work. Wait. So in making that effect, it is the only school of magic that I could think of that would remote. Okay. So the reason why it's chronology is.
I see what you're saying.
That's why. So chronology. So I get where he's going with that way. So I don't know if there's a better school when he's talking about this. I think metamagic. I don't know if metamagic is really
it's not really school. I would say transmutation.
Transmutation is probably something better. But what I was thinking is now chronology. How about this, man? What if you could charge it, right? 20. What if for every 5 or 10, depending upon how balanced you feel this should be, but for every 5 points or 10 points you sacrifice, because you're talking about chronology, you reduce a target you can see by that many levels. So if it's an enemy, you can reduce it by a CR.
That's a cool idea.
Like it's a whole CR level, or it's a level.
Cool
so
idea.
If you're a 20th level character fighting a 9th level wizard, you spend all 20 charges, and now they're a 6th level wizard. Their hit points, their spells, all of it goes down to what would be like. That is a chronology concept of you're taking your enemy and you're being like, now, go back to what you were. That could be fucked.
That could be powerful. Like, here's the thing.
At early stages, it's way more powerful. But the later you get, 4 levels is a lot, but not a lot, right? It's not like devastating.
Yeah.
But it could be enough to change the tide of battle.
I would say, personally, with an ability like that,
I would give it 10.
I would give it a long cooldown to use that.
Or that's why if you go,
and again,
if it's too powerful, just do 10. For every 10 points, you can take away a level. So it's the max 2, right? So a level 20 can be taken down to a level 18. So you can even just say,
the thing is, I like the ability. I like the mentality of being able to take it down a significant amount. I
like 4 levels,
like 4, 5, 6. Like take somebody who's 20 down to like half that. Like that would be crazy. Like that.
But it's also too easy to get to.
Yes, I want it to be something like I would almost say that it would be something like,
how about this?
Instead, just make it a hard cap. Like you use it, you can't use it for a while, and you have their level.
So
or something like that.
Or however many points you have, that many days before you can recharge. So if you use 10 points, you have 10 days before you can even begin to recharge.
I like that idea.
Or what about this? So he was saying like the bookmark idea, going back to your life. And this one is being able to get all the pluses. What if at any point you can use a bonus action in combat to bookmark, and at any other point you can go back to that bookmark? You'll go back to that point in combat. You'll have your same spell slots, your same life, but at the end of combat, just like temp HP, you lose everything. So if you go below what you would have been as 0, you die. So you basically get a whole second wind, a whole extra life.
Interesting.
But if you push yourself too far, and maybe it's only 10 points to do it. So maybe you can do it twice in a battle. But that's how far into death you're going. So it's almost like Anime Swordsman, where you're just... But again, I love the idea, because again, there's 2 concepts here. We either have to look at it for what he wrote, and it's great what he wrote. Mm-hmm. But where I think right now what we're discussing, Cosmic, is how do we lean into the chronology? Right? So, because how do we want to do that? Do we want to go with what he wrote and how to make it fit? Or do we want to go with the description of the chronology?
I mean, honestly, I love giving them ideas for both. Like, why not? But so one of my ideas when I was thinking of chronology, because I love the idea of... So you know how you have the spell like Dominate Person, where you basically get to take over the mind of a person, right? If we're talking about chronology, like, and maybe it's too much.
Oh my God! What? We got another follower today?
What?
Gold Osborne, thank you so much.
Nice. Love to see you in chat.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for sticking around and joining. I will get to your comment just as soon as Kage finishes his idea.
So the idea is maybe having the ability to either redo. See, again, you get a little sticky with this, but like change what happened in like the last round of combat, or to be able to say what a certain set of enemies do in the next couple rounds of something like that.
For every 5 points of the charge, for every 5 charges, you can force a reroll. There's your chronology. Someone rolls damage, someone rolls attack,
yes, but
you can just be like, nah, book, reset time to that attack, redo that attack. So if your buddy just gets hit and they're like, oh, they critted, roll it back. No. My book, I spend 5 charges, I'm rolling back 10 seconds, re-roll that attack. Now, essentially what you're basically doing is you're rolling back time so they have another chance of surviving the attack. So that could be the chronology, is you could spend 5 points and make any roll re-rollable. You could be like, nope, not a crit. Not max damage.
I like that because it's very interesting. Like, in the situation when you roll it back, both parties are going to have like a weird sense of deja vu.
Exactly.
And how they respond to that is going to be up to them in that moment in time, which is indicative of the new roll. And it's like, oh, I know what happened. So because I have the opportunity to get the heck out the way.
You don't want to go too far back in time because then you're forcing the DM and every player to remember what had happened up,
and then like change things that could have potentially had changed.
Being able to just instantly be like, I'm spending 5 points as a reaction because again, I love the fact that you made this reaction. As a reaction, I can spend 5 points and be like, no, that didn't happen. I'm turning back time. I want this to happen. And you can even flavor it. You can even say that in game, he turns back time and then shouts out a warning.
I would say this.
Giving the chance to re-roll. Like
specifically
like
because he was talking about he wants this to be like a super god level ability. I think it warrants this, I'll call it imbalance. But taking away the action economy required to use this ability, hypothetically being able to use it multiple times in a turn. So instead of using a reaction, it's a free action. I can just do this, especially with the mindset that this is happening outside of time.
No, that makes sense because I guess you could say that at any given moment, like let's say for my idea, I spend 5 points, I can make any reroll happen. Maybe 3 enemies attacked in the same initiative. Maybe I can use one action, but use 15 points and go, I want all 3 of them to reroll.
Now, do you have to...
Because again, I'm using it all...
The question is, do you have to wait for all of them to roll before you do that?
I would think so, right? You have to know what happened. You have to see the outcome, but the idea is that your powers, like you said, you're not limited to one thing you can do. It's the idea that you can use as many points as you want. Like, again, if it's 5 points for a reroll, I can spend all 20 of my points and make 4 rerolls happen that just happened because I'm now in the future. And now I'm just turning back time and going, hey, that last initiative, reroll all of it. But you have to put a limit, right, on how far back it can go. So it has to be something almost instantaneous, which is why I like the reaction, right? Because it can be not on your turn. You could basically say, it's not my turn, but I don't like that roll. I saw that happen. I'm activating my book.
The only reason why, again, I wanted to make it a free action is so that it can happen live and in the moment. So you don't have to retcon anything.
That's why I think a reaction works, though, is because it just makes sure that you can't use it 3 times in a row instantaneously. Because, again, your perception's only going to be part of the fight, right? You can only pay attention to so many things happening. So I like the idea that it's a reaction to do it.
And I do think, you can only pay attention to so many things, but I also like the idea of being able to do it over and over and over.
Why not as a reaction and a bonus action? So you can basically convert it to your turn and not your turn. So you have a chance to do it not on your turn, and you have an ability to do it on your turn. So it's a bonus action or a reaction to activate it. Would that work?
Only because the way I'm thinking about it is like, okay, so it's not my turn. And there's a lot of stuff going on out on the battlefield, right? And the wizard is almost down.
Yep.
Right? And so somebody hits him and he goes down.
Yep.
I want to save him.
Yep.
Boom. I say re-roll that.
Yep.
I use my reaction.
Yep.
Now the next person attacks him. Now he goes down. Now I don't have any more reactions. I can't save him. I can't do anything. I wasted.
I see.
It doesn't do anything.
I see what you're saying.
So it's
and I get it, but I still feel like that's where once you start, I see what you're trying to solve there.
And it's just because like if I have the charges to use it, then like let me use all the charges until my charges are gone, until my ability to use it is gone.
But that's where you get into the problems of retconning, because then it has to depend on how many turns can you go back.
No, it's not going back. You have to do it at the time. You don't get to go back at all. It has to happen at the time.
So you're saying you're saying unlimited reactions with this. So
yes, it's unlimited reactions. It's not like I'm going back in time.
I think that makes it too powerful though, because
then if you're using 5, you have a maximum of 4 times you can do this.
But I would prefer those be spread out through the entire combat instead of all at once, or different rounds, because you're also having to keep in mind the player doing it, right? The player using this has to be conscious of all these things happening.
But again, if it's only the one person that's doing it.
But the idea is that you're saying that like, oh, he got attacked, I'm going to undo that. And then the next initiative, he got attacked, so I'm going to undo that. And then the next person
it's the same person. Like, is this if like I'll just hypothetically for this one scenario.
I mean, okay, I would say that as a DM, you could make an argument that if the same person in the same consecutive initiatives are going to get attacked and you want to use all your points, yes, but I think making a rule of that makes it more convoluted, because it's sounding like I can just always like I can stop him, and stop him, but your attention wouldn't be that good. You know what I mean? Like if
I do see what you're trying to avoid, like just being this like omnipresent.
Yeah, you're because the way that it's sounding is like at any point I can just be like nope. The problem is, though, is I see what you're saying is like, if the same guy is going to get attacked 3 times in a row, can I just say I'm undoing all of that? I get the argument, and I would. As a DM, I'd be like, yes, that in this situation, yes. But as a general rule, like what we're trying to look at is written.
Yeah.
It's almost like you have to basically say you can use it whenever, however. And it's like, you're not that omnipotent, though.
Yes.
You can only focus on so many things in battle.
And again,
which is why I feel like adding a bonus action or a reaction basically says you can do it on your turn or off your turn freely, not including what you're going to do. But you can basically always have this on the ready on your turn or off your turn once around. I think that's good.
The only reason, and I do agree with that. The only reason why I have like an element where like I think that's okay, especially with this ability, because again, it's supposed to be the legendary ability. It's supposed to be the ability that you're not really going to get except for in the very rare scenario, and it is with what the mentality we're trying to go with, that chronergy. It gives you the scapegoat. I'll call it a scapegoat. It's like a get out of jail free. It's like the plot hole armor, whatever you want to call it. You get to do things outside of time. So it's a little bit easier for you to be paying attention to a lot of things that you wouldn't normally be able to have the awareness of. You normally wouldn't be able to have the full awareness of the whole battlefield, but the reality is if what I'm doing is save some like a flashpoint type stuff where I'm slowing down time and I'm like, no, I'm going to rewind it. Or like imagine you're Doctor Strange and you got your time stone. Like that's kind of the mentality I'm thinking of with this.
Yeah.
It's like you realize this has some chronergistic abilities in it, and so now you have the ability to like see things in like a different way, and like almost like everything is like bullet time for you, and you can now go through and be like, no, you're gonna have to redo that. We're gonna bring that clock back one for you. We're gonna bring it back for you too. And you only have so much ability. Almost like if you've ever what's the Sands of Time, the dagger dude, Prince of Persia.
Yeah.
Where he's only got so much sand he can do it with, but he can do some cool stuff. Like every single time you die, you can die over and over.
And that's the hardest part, is like making sure this doesn't get too convoluted in terms of how to write it down. Right? And like that's what we're trying to do, is like,
right.
How do you concisely represent it? I mean, like I said, I don't dislike the +3 across the board. I think that's relatively good because it doesn't benefit every build. I think the idea is that it just generally benefits you. And for the time frame, I think it works. But I think we're on the same page that it just doesn't feel the same
as
the others, right? Every other one has been about filling it up with spells, and this one's just about supercharging you, which again, as we talked about in the previous one, I don't think it should be allowed to affect all of your party, right? Bonusing all of your party that you can see when it's a book that you're charging, that you're holding on to. I said I was going to go to chat, and I didn't. So let me get to chat real quick. So we have a new chatter. So Gold Osborne, first chat. I had the most strangest campaign ever in our campaign when we had to find a way to make a play. We had to make a play. I bring up cats, but with kobolds. At first, I thought it was going to be a dumpster fire, but it seems that it worked out in the end. In the end, making up a ton of money, and it became the world's favorite. Now we're forced to play the Cats remake over and over again through the world.
I'm guessing this is like the play.
So
Cats?
basically, in game, he basically had to make a play, a theater play of the real world
performance Cats, but with
kobolds. And now it got so popular that they are forced to basically continue to play.
Why does this remind me of a scene from? Why does this remind me of a scene from Avatar: The Last Airbender, where they go and do some weird stuff in the Fire Nation? Oh my, that sounds so legit. That's dope.
He also says, "Are you sure this is not going to anger the Time Lord?" I mean, it could. Well, luckily he doesn't really get angry. He just makes sure that we're not fucking around with too many things. So I think the doctor's going to be fine with that.
Timey-wimey.
Believe me, if you want. Okay, so thank you so much for following. If you are interested, I am on YouTube. All my previous streams are on YouTube at MisfitGamersStudios Live. Go check them out. I have a series called The Origins of High Point, and in there I do mention that with my setting, Doctor Who is one of the primary four pop culture references that influence High Point. So I think he'll be okay. Cool. I think he might be just a little bit cross with us, but I don't think he's going to be too mad. I think he'll be fine. I think he'll just give us a stern word. And Cosmic says this is D&D, not Doctor Who. I beg to differ.
Why not a little bit of both?
I think it's both. Okay.
Listen, cross-pollination.
And then more from Osborne. For some reason, what I'm getting from this is they're trying to make another version of the character from Overwatch. I'm extremely confused. Can somebody say what's going on? I'll read what Cosmic says and then I'll kind of explain. So when the stream is done, try rewatching it from the start on YouTube. Yeah, that can also help. If Effect 4, and then Cosmic says, if Effect 4 could turn back the clock like that to force a reroll, I think the command word would need to be retcon as a meta joke. I agree with that. Okay, so Gold Osborne, thank you so much for joining. So what we are doing today, we have Kage and I are doing a twice a week stream. I do a twice a week stream. I'm usually here Mondays and Fridays. Kage is with me on Mondays. On Mondays, we do a thing called Homebrew Review, where people will submit items to us that they've made. This one that we're viewing today that you can see on screen, the Chronicle of a Forgotten Age, it was submitted by Cosmic, who you were talking to in chat right now. And what we do is we go over it, we give it our first reactions, we just basically read it line for line, give us our knee-jerk reactions, discuss what we may or may not have done ourselves with it, from our perspective of our DMing and our settings that we run. And then what we'll do is we'll basically just dissect it. We'll go through all the things that we like and dislike, the things that we think we would do differently. Again, it's not about who's better or who's right or wrong. It's just more about different perspectives. And then at the very end of it, I give it a high point rating. It's a 1 out of 10. I call it high points because that's my realm. My setting is called high point. And essentially, again, it's not about who's right, who's wrong on whether it's good or not. The high point rating is basically a rating of how likely I am to use it. So a 10 out of 10 essentially means I love the item as is without change. I am going to take it and use that item in my realm. And then every point that I knock off is for different things. Oh, there goes my light. Different points get knocked off for different things, such as, if it's, if I can't use it, or if it's too specific, if it doesn't work in my realm, the more I have to change in order for it to fit high point. There's different reasons why I'll knock points off. But again, it's not about you're wrong or you didn't do good enough. It's just more about my personal interest in whether or not I'm going to use it. So that's what we're doing right now. So we are reviewing Chronicles of a Forgotten Age. It's a tome, a magical tome that Cosmic has submitted. And we're just kind of going over all of the abilities. So kind of a quick little recap. It's a +3 tome. And what it does is it has three main things that you can do with it. And then it has one specialty thing that you have to earn over time. The first thing you can do with it is you can put a spell scroll inside of it and use the command word transcribe, and it will basically, even if that spell scroll is not on your spell list, normally it means you wouldn't be able to cast it. This book basically says, hey, I've transcribed this into a language you can read, so one-time use, you can use that spell that you normally wouldn't be able to cast. We kind of like that. That's a pretty good one. The second ability for it is command word upcast. Basically, you put a spell inside, and what happens is if it's beyond the max level that you can cast, for every level beyond your max level that you can cast, it will cost you 1 exhaustion point, but you will be able to upcast it. So let's say you have a fireball spell. It's level 3. Let's say you can cast spells up to level 5. But let's say you want to cast this at level 8. So what's going to happen is you use the spell tome, you upcast it to level 8. Your max is level 5, which means that you're going to take 3 levels of exhaustion in order to cast this spell at level 8. And then the other option outside of then we have the option number 3. Option number 3 has kind of like 2 parts to it. The first one is that you can consume a spell, and for every number level of the spell, you're going to get a charge into the tome. Once it has 20 charges, you can use your reaction to add or subtract any number of up to 20 from certain rolls.
20 is also the max, by the way.
Yeah, 20 is the max, but you can subtract or add from ability checks, saving throws, multitude of things. Or you can, as a reaction, consume a minimum of 10, and you can double the amount of healing you either dish out or receive. I think that's pretty much...
Yeah.
And then it has a fourth special ability that you have to earn, a hidden ability that you have to earn the knowledge of, which if you use it, it's called Strengthen Self, and it will immediately, for 2d8 days, give you a temporary +3 to all of your stats, and you'll get all of the bonuses therein, whether it's all of the stat bonuses, and for any amount of HP that you would incur due to the Constitution bonus, it becomes temporary HP for the 2d8 weeks, or the 2d8 the 2d8 days. So that's what we're talking about. Hopefully that's a good summary, but that's what we're doing.
That's
here today.
All the chaos you heard as you were coming in that I was yik-yakking about.
Yeah, so we're just going through. We've basically gone through all of the aspects, so we're kind of just going to summarize. Actually, we're at our summary right now, and then we're going to give it a summary. We're going to give it a high point here soon. And then if you don't already, since you weren't here at the beginning, this is our 50th episode of D&D Discussions. Mondays we do a homebrew review. On Fridays, it's usually me. Sometimes Kage will join me on Fridays, and I'll just go into other deep dive topics. I've talked about gaming in Discord. I've talked about my own realm, High Point. I have some other topics that we're going to be talking about soon too. But yeah, Fridays are kind of just me talking about D&D, and then Mondays are us reviewing homebrew stuff. And we are very happy to have you. Hopefully that was a good summary and catching you up to date on what's going on here. And then we already went through Cosmic. So Osborne says, oh my God, this is the perfect place for me. I have a bunch of items. I even have an item called the Hat of the Neckbeards.
I cannot wait. I just.
So, okay, you've already. Okay, thank you. So, see again, why I see him as a crutch. Cosmic also says, if the Time Lord was a D&D PC, I would think that he'd be a fighter. Dual wielding swords that look like hour and minute hands on a clock. Fucking double hands of time. That would be fucking hilarious, although it can't be the Doctor. It could be a Time Lord, but it couldn't be the Doctor because the Doctor doesn't use weapons, right?
That's true. He's only got his
screwdriver,
But
I do like the idea of a Time Lord dual wielding like an hour and a second hand.
Freaking hilarious.
Oh, man. Oh, can you imagine getting hit with one ages you, getting hit with the other de-ages you? Or, no, one ages you physically, the other takes away your levels. So can you imagine a crit on one advances you by 1 year of life, and a crit on the other takes away 1 level of your experience? Can you fucking imagine the devastation of that weapon?
Bro, you get messed up
So you just get older and get stupider as time goes by. So imagine that, right? It's the worst combination because as you get older, you have less time to relearn the shit you just forgot. That would be some fucked up shit. By the way, if that's right there, that's a good summary of what D&D Discussions is all about. That right there. You guys give us ideas and we just fucking go off on tangents.
I'm adding that.
But yes, so Gold Osborne, thank you so much for joining. Where can you post these items? In our Discord. So we just posted the link in our Discord. Please join. We're a very small community, but we are a building. In the Discord, you can talk to us personally. You can talk to everybody else in the community. You can submit ideas for us to talk to. You can ask us questions either in the Discord or you can ask us questions that we will answer on stream. And there is a specific channel called Submissions where you can submit your D&D creations, your homebrew creations, and every Monday we will select one and then we will go over. And like I said, we go over it. It's fresh. We don't pre-read it. It's always a first reaction. We give you our knee-jerk reactions. We give you our takes. We discuss it, and then eventually we'll give you a choice. And I'll even pull this up here as well. We do have. Just to kind of show it off because you didn't get to see it earlier because you weren't here. So let me change this. We do have a leaderboard. So we do have, oh my gosh. So as you can see here, we have done, today is the 33rd item that we have done. Oh, I need to clear that. There we go. What's going on here? There we go. So yeah, those are all the items. We're keeping it ongoing, so we would love to have you join the plethora of items that we've reviewed. And again, nothing's ever about who's right or who's wrong. Our whole thing here with Misfit Gamer Studios, with D&D Discussions, is we're here to talk about D&D to provide people with multiple ways of playing, right? Like I have my own way of playing, Kage has his way of playing, Cosmic has his own way of playing. And the idea is that we're not here to say you're wrong, you're right, here's how you should be doing it. It's more of a, hey, here's how I have fun. Here's how Kage has fun. Here's how Cosmic has fun. Here's how other people we've played with have fun. And our goal is not for you to agree with how we play. Our goal is for you to look at it and go, I like this, I don't like this, and formulate your own idea and be comfortable with the way that you want D&D, right? Our goal is for you to enjoy D&D in whatever way that matters to you. Whether you're a by the book player and say, nope, how the book says it is how it has to go. That's great. That's not how we prefer to play, but we won't judge you. We're not going to say that you're wrong. All we're here to do is talk about how we got to where we are and openly discuss different ways of doing it so that the other viewers that are listening, whether they agree or disagree, come to their own conclusions and find a way to play this game that makes sense to them. Because for us, the number one thing about D&D is if you're having fun, if you as a DM, you as a player are having fun with the people that you are playing with, you're doing it right. That's the only rule is I don't care if you've never played or if you've played for 20 years. If y'all are having fun, you're doing it right. That's the only time I'll ever say you're not doing it right is if someone's not having fun. You know what I mean?
Facts.
And that's just how we are here. You know what I mean? So just to kind of preface, what you'll see if you do look back on any of the old streams, or if you stick with us, we're just openly talking about different variations of playing. Oh my God, is that another fucking follower?
Wow.
What is this?
More friends?
How do I pronounce this one? Hello from Germany. Oh my gosh. Germany. Well, wow. Hello from America.
Welcome.
I don't know how to pronounce your name. If I pronounce this incorrectly, I'm apologizing, but I'm going to try. Hoylepepa? Is it Hoylepepa? Did I get that right? I don't think I did. My light's off. I'm really bugged that my light's off. So I usually have a light right here, and you've come when my light's been off, which means we've been streaming far too long today. So I apologize. I'm really this
is wonderful.
I'm irritated. More a forced follower. Oh, okay. Did Cosmic force you to come here? That's fine. I understand if Cosmic forced you to come here.
Cosmic, we need more friends. He knows we need more friends.
Don't care. I can't myself not spell my Chet name. Chet. Yeah, that can be kind of hard if you don't know how to phonetically spell. Like I never know how to phonetically spell it. Well, if you have a nickname or anything, let us know. We'll definitely be able to. We won't be able to pronounce your name correctly, or at least something akin to what you want to be called. So let us know. And then Cosmic says, what is the high point rating for the Chronicles of Forgotten Age? The review average for all the viewers was 6.7, and you want to know what the post-review average is. And then Our newest follower says, no, you have a chat rule that only followers can enter the chat. Oh, I do. Thank you so much for letting me know that. Okay, so actually, me and my mods were talking about that. We were wondering if I had set follower chat on or not. Thank you so much for confirming that. We were not supposed to. Follower chat is not meant to be on. I actually wasn't sure if it was. I'm going to change that right now. Thank you for following. I do appreciate it. Sorry that you felt like you had to. I'm definitely not big enough to warrant that yet. So let me change that real quick if I know how to. Follower chat only. No? Is follower... How do I change that? Oh, there we go. Remove follower chat. Okay. So follower chat should be off. There we go. Okay, so now anybody should be able to chat. Again, thank you for joining. We do appreciate it. I appreciate that you wanted to involve yourself in chat with us. But that was something that we wanted to fix.
I did not know that was the thing. I'm not even gonna lie. You were talking about follower chat. I'm like, what's
when I first made it, I probably just said it and forgot it. But no, Vixie, my wife and main mod, we were talking about that literally this weekend on whether or not we had follower chat on,
right?
And we talked about it, and really, I shouldn't have it on. I mean, really, we want more interaction. And to be fair, let's face it. How many times have you been on Twitch and you've been scrolling through and you've been watching someone and you're like, oh, I could comment on that, and then it's follower chat, and you're like, you're fun for right now. Yeah. I'm enjoying listening to you. But like, I got people like let's face it, I don't follow people on YouTube that I watch literally every single day unless I've watched them for over a month, because I'm like, I don't want to add you and have you bog down my results. So I apologize. Thanks for joining. I fixed it. So feel free to unfollow if you need to. I hope you don't, but I appreciate if you do. We are trying to, next year, our goal is affiliates. So your follow actually does matter.
You out here hooking it up.
Like to be honest, we're so small. Your follow does matter towards affiliate, but I understand if you have to bounce out. Like I said, we're going to be honest. Thank you for pointing that out. I fixed it. And then Osborne. So we can just post our ideas in the homebrew channel. So Osborne, in the Discord, did you join? Did we get him validated?
I got him in there.
Thank you.
And
did you get him validated?
I got him validated.
Did you update his name?
I did not update his name.
Go ahead and update his
I will
nickname,
do
please.
that.
Yes. So if you want to, okay, so there's a couple different channels. The homebrew review channel is if you want to post anything that you want the community to discuss. So you'll kind of see where a lot of the stuff is. We're working on it. We're still new. We're working on it. But you'll see that there's a couple different categories. So the homebrew channel that you, I think, are referencing, home brewing, that's mainly if you want to, that's under the community chat, the community, column. So that's if you want people to discuss it, right? If you want to share your ideas with the community and just have everyone openly discuss it, you want to post it in the home brewing channel. If you want us to do a review of it on Monday, you want to post it in the submissions channel under stream info. So it has a little briefcase, and it'll even have a posted note in the pin, or it'll have a pinned note about what to do. But yeah, so if you want to submit something for us to review on stream, that's in the submissions channel. If you just want people on Discord to talk about it, put that in the home brewing channel. Hopefully that makes more sense.
Yeah, I think that works.
We're working on it. We're trying to, develop everything. But thank you for being patient with us. Oh yeah, look, it even popped up. I didn't realize that it popped up on stream, so you guys will be able to see that. So yeah, nice. The submissions channel right here is where you want to go for homebrew review. Home brewing is just if you want people to openly discuss what you're building and just get, random people. And there we go. Look at that. Bam. Something's already posted in submittals. Thank you so much. Are you getting his nickname updated?
I'm working on it. I don't know if I have access to that. Let me.
You should. If not, I can do it real quick.
Okay.
I'll do it after. Or yeah, change nickname. Here we go.
Yeah, I don't think I have that.
Gold Osborne. Oh, not Osborne. It's Osborne. There we go. Boom. We did get your item. Perfect. So, like I said, we don't pre-review it. We don't pre-read it. We just basically make sure that it has. The only thing I do when I look at it is just I quickly skim it, not for details or information. I just make sure that it's in a way that I know how we're going to review it. So if I have to change up information or change the order of how I have to read it, that's the only thing I do. So I'm going to look at this, make sure I know how to read it on stream, but that's the only thing I'm going to do. And then when we do review this, when we come back, we will just...
Was it the 8th? 8th of January?
So this is the 50th live stream for the 50th episode of D&D Discussions for this year, but it is also the last one for 2023. We will be taking a break for the holidays due to travel and a bunch of other stuff, but we will be back. First stream should be Monday, January 8th, and we will probably end up starting with your item goal, Osborne. So if you can be here for the 8th, we will post it in Discord.
I'll try and make sure I ping you just to let you know if we're gonna be reviewing your item. That'd be
it's the next item on the list. We have no other items right now, so that is the next item on the list. So yes, your item will be reviewed on the 8th when we return. We do appreciate that. Let me get through chat real quick, and then Cosmic, I will give you your rating. So no worries. After all, a master has failed more often than a student has tried. I love that, though. That is such a great concept. I love approaching things with that idea. That yes, a master has failed more than a student has tried.
I'm adding that too.
Osborne says, the problem for me is I have somehow maxed out how many followers I can have on Twitch, so I have to constantly go back and unfollow. Wow, I didn't know you can have a max. Like,
you can only be following so many people?
I didn't know that.
That's crazy.
I feel honored. Like, someone had to be bumped for us. I mean, I don't know. You probably didn't do it today to bump us, but I mean, just saying, like, at some point in your life, someone got bumped and we took their place. I feel honored. That's fantastic. I do not like the fact that my light's off. I fucking, like, I'm looking at this camera and I just see, like, none of my face and I fucking hate it.
I see what you're saying.
I'm going to end stream here soon, but we're going to get through chat real quick. I will warn you, sorry about the wall of text. Hey, man, Cosmic makes us used to it. I am working on being better at interactive with chat. I know that the more people we get, the harder it's going to be to keep up with chat, but I do try. Don't worry, but the walls of text are, they're understandable. I'm just glad you're patient with me because, yeah, there are a lot sometimes. The Peppa says... more of an idea guide. The rule of D&D are not something I'm good in. And that's fine. Hopefully you'll find a good home here because, again, our motto here is beyond the book. So our idea is that we take a foundation. We think the book is great. It's a fantastic foundation. It gives you everything you need to get started. But I'm a gamer. You guys will see this in some of my old streams. I mean, I've been gaming, like 12 to 15 years now. And I've gamed every edition there is. I've my original DM put me through Chainmail First Edition, when it was Dungeons and Dragons, AD&D, 3rd, 4th, 5th. I really just haven't done one D&D yet. I mean, that's pretty much the thing I haven't really cut up with is one D&D. But
Did you ever do 3.5?
I did 3.5. I did Pathfinder.
See, I never messed
tried
with that.
Dragon Scrape. I mean, I've tried them all, and so the idea is that, in my biggest belief, is that all of the additions are not replacements; they're additions, right? They're add-ons, they're DLC. They're all part of the same game. It's just depending upon what rule set makes sense to you. So our thing about Beyond the Book is not so much a concept of, hey, we're here to make everybody make their own homebrew stuff. Everything has to be homebrew. That's not what Beyond the Book means. Beyond the Book just means that, hey, if the book says that this is the rule, but you and your party, you and your DM, you and your players find a way to make it make more sense for your narrative, your game, or your rule sets, and that makes everyone have more fun and it makes the game more enjoyable, that is what we're here for. Not that you need to do that. If you look at a rule in the book and go, no, that's 100% what we need and we're all happy with it, then we're here to promote that. We're here to encourage that. But what we're more here to encourage, because that's easy, right? If you like something from the book and don't want to change it, no one's going to argue with you. Our biggest thing is we're trying to portray to the people who go, hey, I like this, but it's not exactly what I want to do, but I feel like I can't. We're just here to say, hey, look, here's how I do it. Here's how he does it. We want people in chat to say, here's how I do it. And the whole point is never to say anyone's wrong. It's just to be like, see, pick what option you like. And if someone goes, I don't like any of those options, but I like this piece and this piece and this piece, Our point is then
now
go
you
with
can create
that.
your new option.
That's your option. Our ideas is not, again, high point is not the end all be all. High point is what I like. It's what my players like, and it's what I want to do. It doesn't matter to me who likes or dislikes it. If someone doesn't like high point, then they're not a player in my realm. If someone likes it, they're a player in my realm. And anybody out there who says you don't play D&D correctly, my only thing is you have it wrong simply because you say I'm wrong. If you say, hey, I don't like the way you do this, I think this works better, I'm going to be like, that's awesome. Do you and your players all agree? Cool. Explain it more to me. I want to know more about your appeal. Like, I'm not going to say I'm going to like replace my idea because like your players like it and therefore it's better. It's just oh, that's cool. Tell me about it. Why does it work for you? We all want to grow as players. I want to grow as a player. I want to grow as a DM. I can't do that without knowing what else is out there.
Honestly,
I'm not the best at D&D, but I like what I do. And all I want to do is share it, but not for the sense of I want to share it so you like it. I don't want to share it so you play high point and play my rules. I want to share it to inspire you to go, I like that, but I would do it like this.
Honestly,
and then go,
it's like,
do it like that.
It's like when somebody says, you know, you're wrong for liking jazz music because I don't like jazz music.
There's
I'm
no
like,
way to be wrong about what you like.
It's not a thing, all right? It's the mentality of, hey, this is why I like jazz music. You like rock music. This is why you like rock. There was nothing, like, we are out here exploring and discovering why people have a taste for different things.
And showing people, again, the biggest reason or the biggest goal is to show people that there isn't a wrong way to do it, right? Like being comfortable finding what you
imagine
want.
if you could discuss, if people had the language to discuss taste the way we're talking about D&D, like you would be able to discover so many more foods that you might like outside of what you already are willing to try because, you know, you were able to talk with people and find out like, oh my gosh, like I'm inspired to try this thing. I'm inspired to see this thing, to go and taste this, to go this place. Like a lot of the stuff we're doing, like with the huge interaction we had with Love Murder Rose earlier, like that was a beautiful inspiration for us and everybody else to like be able to add a new aspect of D&D to their game. And now they get to game with that, and it's way cool. I don't know. It's what we do here is really what I think a lot.
It's only been 6 months, but we're really enjoying what we do.
It's good. It really is.
Cosmic says walls of text just mean more detail, which means more fun. I'm glad you finally admitted that, Cosmic, because usually you make me feel bad about going on tangents. So I'm glad you finally, admitted that it's good.
Well, he's also the largest proprietor of the walls of text, too.
That is true. I'm just saying. He's usually the one that gets us into things. Osborne says, let's just say a couple VTubers have been bumped.
Ooh. Those VTubers,
man. I'm just that like legit, dude. We're nobody. We've been streaming for 6 months. We're fucking nobody, and someone got bumped that he's actually like watched before. That means a lot, man. You've been told that there's a lot. Oh, you've been told a lot of bad things about 1D&D. I haven't heard the greatest things. I have heard the biggest criticism is that the Wizards just refuses to call it 6th edition. They cannot accept 6th edition, and they want to call it anything else, and no one fucking cares.
Here's the deal.
Call it 6th edition and move the fuck on.
I feel like 1D&D 6th edition, whatever you want to call it. I feel like it is their attempt to recover from the debacle that Wizards had when they were acting crazy about their rights and whatever that stuff was.
Wizards is going through a trial right now. They're getting rid of a lot of, like, let's just say Wizards is going through some shit.
They're going through it. Like they're having, so like I don't think 1D&D is their best work. But weirdly enough, I thought that they weren't making 5th edition content anymore because they let it open source, but I heard that they've put out some additional adjustments to things. Oh yeah,
they're doing some things.
Who was it that brought up those monk changes? Was that Love Murder Rose that brought up those monk changes that we were talking about not too long ago? Yeah. Like that, I swear that came from Wizards of the Coast. I don't know, whatever. So anyways,
here's actually a really good question, because we have a resources page for all of like the non-standard resources that we use. But here's a really good question from Osborne, or Gold Osborne. Is there a way that we can make a channel for people who have specific books in their campaigns that they can post about? So we don't really have a specific channel, I don't think, dedicated for people to be like, hey, here's the resources I use. Not a resources page like for links, but just people to openly discuss the settings. Like, do you use Pathfinder? Do you use Dragonscape? Do you use Third? We don't really have, like, we have the community chat, but we don't have a specific way for people to talk about, like how would we do that? Like, I'm really, really curious, guys. How would you guys, the Discord, like to see that work? How would you like to, like, what type of channel that doesn't already exist? Like Osborne, did you join the Discord?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Osborne's in there. That's the one we just did.
You were just the one. Do me a favor, Osborne. Please post that in community chat. Can you just at us, at me and Kage, and post that question in Discord? Let's continue that off stream. I think that's going to be more of a development question for us next year, because obviously we're going to be doing some changes next year. But that's a great question, because we have a resources page to give you guys links of resources we like. And then we have an artwork page. We have a page for people to talk. But the idea of people to, really express their settings, right? Or express what modules they use or what additions they use. We don't really have.
Are we talking about a place for people to discuss resources, or are we talking about a place for people to post their own resources that they're using? So
that's what I mean. That's why I want this to be a bigger talk. So
okay.
Please do me a favor, Gold Osborne. Post that in community chat. Just at Kage and I, and just repost that question as is. I want this to be a continued discussion, because this brings up a lot of good points of, I've tried to make the Discord simple and easily approachable in terms of, you look at it and you kind of get an idea. Okay, here's the stream for online stuff. Here's the Discord only stuff, which is the community area. But that's a good question, because there should be a space that's open enough for people to be like, here's how I'm building my world, or here's the here's the foundation I'm using. I'm using Pathfinder, but these are the changes I'm making, and being able to allow people to talk about that without it just being the community chat, right?
Yeah.
We have home brewing. We have home brewing, which is a channel that's designed for people to say, here's what I'm building. Can anybody help give me ideas? Which is different than submitting an idea for our review.
Exactly.
But having maybe a world building, we have home brewing, maybe we do a channel called world building. So people can openly talk about, hey, I'm using 3.5. What are some of the best books for XYZ? Or here's the world I'm creating and I want to use 4th edition. What do you guys think about this? I think maybe having just a channel that is a world building channel may be a way to go. But I want to continue this conversation. Please post that in Discord. We will get back to you. We will open this conversation up to everybody. But I love this idea. I just want to make sure that we do it correctly. And I just don't think talking about it in the next 5 minutes is going to do it justice. So keep us up to date. And then you also continue to say, I have a book that I'm currently working on that documents every single fan kobold known to man. So far, you've documented 398 species. Right now, you're currently working on writing a block that I'm supposed to be working on, the undead and a slime version. What? 398 cobalt You know what's funny? I'm not going to help you with this. And you know why? Do you know why? Do you know why, Kage?
Wait.
Know why?
Hold on. Sorry.
Do you know why I can't help him with this? That he's documented 398 versions of cobalt species that are homebrewed. Do you know why I can't help him?
What are you trying to help him with?
Well, I can't help him.
What does he need help with?
Kobolds aren't in High Point.
Interesting.
It's one of the few things that my players haven't discovered. There's actually
I want to know the lore behind that.
There's actually a few things sprinkled throughout High Point that my players haven't even found out yet, and kobolds not existing are one of them.
It is weird. I don't want to say it's weird, because I've never used kobolds in any of my games except for maybe once, even though supposedly
but you've never
they're
even heard of someone
crazy common.
It.
But it is something that I haven't I have not heard of in High Point.
You want to know something else that you haven't heard of in High Point that you never will? It's funny. I expected at least you or Vixie to have run across this at some point in discussion. But neither of you have. It's never come up in discussion in my realm.
That's so crazy.
But in addition to kobolds, You know what else doesn't exist? Quote unquote. That's myth in High Point. Like actual myth. I don't mean just myth as in you don't see it in a certain area, but actually doesn't exist in High Point. There's 2 others.
Other races? Centaurs?
Nope, they exist.
Goblins definitely exist.
There's 2 more. There's more, but specifically the top 3 that you'll be most surprised out. Kobolds, Cyclops.
I haven't even thought about Cyclops. I'm not even going to lie. That one is not one I would have thought of.
And giants.
No. You have no giants?
As of right now, in the High Point that you know of, giants don't exist. I'll give you a hint, though.
That's crazy.
I'll give you a hint. They existed in the D&D, or in the Discord future.
Interesting.
So, if y'all don't know, when I did my deep dive into D&D in Discord and High Point in Discord, the server that I'm talking about is a alternative future to the current High Point that Kage knows about in High Point. And in the current version of High Point he knows of, giants and Cyclops don't exist. But in that particular alternative future, they did. Details that he didn't learn, and he probably never will learn, like outside of something like this. That's why metagaming is gaming. But little things, little tiny things. Now, I'm not saying that I don't have giants. I'm not saying that I don't believe in giants, and I'm not saying that I don't accept giants. It's just in a lore aspect, you cannot and will not, as of present timeline, Kage's characters cannot and will not
find it
ever
or
be
interact.
able to interact or find a giant, and no one will believe. Like as of right now, they
is
are a myth.
that the same? Is the same true for Alo?
Yes.
Interesting.
You want to know what will really fry your brain?
Interesting.
Between Alo and Dovd, who do you think is more likely to be able to see a giant, even though they don't exist?
I'm gonna say Alo.
That is correct.
Because he's in some... He's close to some shit. That's all I'm saying.
But seriously, your book, cataloging all of that,
that's incredible.
Please share. Like,
Yo.
I am so fat. Just give us a snippet of the information that you have learned. Like, I hate kobolds, but that is fascinating.
Tell me,
so fascinating.
If this is something you're comfortable with, I would love it. If people want to like share their resources, I can collect them and add them to a place where everyone can
Cosmic,
easily
if you're still here,
get access to them.
Cosmic, I don't know. Cosmic, are you still here? Are you watching chat?
Cosmic just posted in the chat, I think.
All right, Cosmic, you and our friend from Germany, y'all gonna have some competition here, because our friend from Germany, that's a kobold ambition.
Get the.
I think Cosmic has his first rival in puns. I think we are going to become a very ridiculous pun.
I cannot.
Pun community.
I'm here for it.
That's two people that love the puns right now, and I'm loving it. Let's go. Osborne, the only thing I have a problem with D&D is one, they removed all half-breeds. They don't think other species can mingle with other species. I agree. Half-breeds, I think, except for some extremes, I think half-breeds are very necessary in good lore. I think half-breeds can breed some very good lore.
I think the diversity of half-breeds needs to increase. Like, you hear of half-elves, like half-human, half-elf, but like not...
Can you check the Discord? Did we get anybody new?
I have the two people that are in Twitch chat in the Discord.
Who?
I don't... Holopia.
Okay, yeah, okay. So I just saw them put the Discord link up, so I just wanted to make sure that we're on top of that.
Nope, he's in there.
So D&D World, for ideas for channels, can I invite you over to one of mine to show you a few ideas? You mean like a Discord? Like you wanted to invite us to a Discord to see ideas? Yeah, if you want to invite Kage and I personally,
you're welcome to
I
invite
am
me.
going to ask that you don't post that in the Discord just because of like spam personas. But if you get, look,
send me a message.
If you're chatting with people personally, like if you want to chat with Cosmic personally and you invite him to your Discord, I'm never going to worry about that. Please just don't post it in my Discord. That's all I ask. But if you want to send me a personal invite, Kage a personal invite, I would love to come and see it. I think you guys have figured out we don't steal ideas. We're not just going to come over there and perv your entire Discord and steal anything. But yes, if you want to invite us, I would love to come and see your Discord. I'd very be interested in seeing what you have. My Discord is based off of many Discords that I've seen, but it still needs work. So yes,
we are developing it. We're trying to grow it. All of that mess.
And I want to support your Discord too. So if we can join your Discord and get your numbers up and be part of your community, we'll check it out. Yeah, definitely. Osborne, I've been working on this for 7 years. Holy shit. Seems like I was faster than the Discord bot. Yeah, just a little bit.
Facts.
Cosmic Perk Dragonborns. I don't know who's Cosmic's talking about or talking to in terms of asking for Dragonborns.
I don't know. Maybe it's in relationship to all the Cobalt talk that was happening.
Cosmic, can you verify what you're talking about for us? He said, Murder Rose loves to monkey around. I missed that one. But yeah, I don't understand what you meant by Dragonborns ? Cosmic, can you please verify? Or the Peppa, Cobalt is a mythical creature from Germany. We now have what we now have in D&D is what the Japanese understand. Really?
Wait, what happened?
So kobolds are apparently a German origin, but the cobalt that we understand as D&D is Japanese origin. Bro, please,
if you got lore drops for that, that's kind of fire.
We don't have time today in stream. Either bring this to us in January or please post this in Discord. I'm actually again, I'm not one. There's a reason why kobolds don't exist in High Point. But I'm actually kind of fascinated with real world understanding. If you have that kind of information, please post sources. I'm the kind of dude who will literally spend an hour on a
just
Saturday,
random deep
several hours on Saturday. I'll just sit there.
I guess we're looking at kobolds
links
today.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Seriously, send me that. I never knew that. I did not know that they were not only German origin. But I didn't know that we weren't using the original. I didn't know that we were using
crazy. Yeah, me either.
Version. That's awesome. Yeah, dude, seriously, send that stuff community chat. Please post that. Osborne, well, I thought you'd like to know if you ever wanted to check it out in the Homebrew channel is one of the species that you can come across in my book known as fur kobolds. Interesting. Wait, where is this? You did that. Home brewing. Oh, okay, yes. It's in the home brewing section. Okay, excellent.
Oh, yeah.
So just to make sure that you are submitting that for just people to just openly discuss, right? Because again, if you want us to openly discuss it on chat, if you want us to do a homebrew review officially, put that in the submissions. But if homebrewing channel, if you just want people to chit chat about it, please do. That's fantastic. Thank you so much. I will be reading those this week. Just give me a couple days with work and whatnot this week. God, I hate my camera right now. I feel like I'm
sorry, dude.
I feel like I'm just a disattend. Just I feel like I'm nothing in this camera, but it's fine. We're going through chat. We're almost done. Let's see. Originally, they looked like goblins with weird noses, apparently, with fur kobolds. They were just goblins with weird noses. That's fascinating. I never knew any of that.
So crazy.
Cosmic says, I'm sensing a 7 or maybe an 8, but I think it's a 6, most likely, with how much debate there was about the Effect 3. I still haven't fucking... I've been going through chat. No, Cosmic, you're right to... Okay, you know what? Okay, let me let's see.
We can put a pin in chat and then rate this right quick.
I'm still ponder about that. Yeah. Okay. Cosmic. Last thing from Cosmic, and then I'll get this. I've had many pun rivals on other Twitch and YouTube channels, but even games chat, Kage knows this. In Genshin Impact, there's a playable character named Sinnoh that also does puns.
It's so bad.
The Dragonborn was a guess as to what races Vortex doesn't have in his world. Oh, no. Dragonborns. I actually have 2 different types of Dragonborns in my realm. I have the traditional Dragonborn, which is your, your
humanoid version.
Yeah, your humanoid dragon race, which is your D&D Dragonborn. The other Dragonborn that I have, I actually basically called them. They were actually called in game. They're called Humanborn, and essentially they are dragons who parents were, for whatever reason, decided to mate in their human forms. So they're dragons who had to learn how to take human form.
Shapeshift, yeah.
And it's not just enough to shapeshift, right? Like, being able to take the form of another creature is one thing. Being able to adapt all of the aspects of that creature.
Because you're changing your biology to be able to do all that.
So I have kind of a multifaceted thing. Most dragons can shapeshift into anything, but it takes an extra effort to fully become it, right? So most dragons have the magical ability to shapeshift for size and visual purposes. Not every dragon can fully become.
So is this like a dragon's version of like true polymorph?
Yes.
Interesting.
So if learned well enough, dragons can actually assume the form they're not just physically become it, but
it's not just an illusion, or
right. So like any dragon
appearance.
that becomes a human form can't mate in human form. Certain dragons who have assumed human form, who can actually go the full amount, can mate in human form. If two dragons mate in their human form, fully fully transition to their human form, they can mate together. That child will gestate as a human, will be born as a human, and will not be able to access any of their draconic talents until puberty, basically until their teenage years. So for all intents and purposes, they are a human until a certain age, which at that point they start to unlock slowly their draconic features.
I'm curious if this is like because it has time to incubate, if this is like a more powerful version of like the Dragonborn race. It's like you have similar traits, but
it's not so much. It's most of the dragon kind considered a bastardization because it's not natural. It's not a hatch. Right, so dragons consider hatchlings. They're real dragonborns, like the dragons that are hatched. Mm-hmm. Then they're dragonborn because they're not hatched, so they're not like they're dragonborn. It's a different type of dragon.
Yeah.
But in the human-born dragons, there are dragons who are basically bastardized by being born in human form. They don't have access to their natural abilities early on, like normal.
So
dragons.
Almost like a nerfed version.
Yeah, it takes a lot longer and a lot more to access your full potential.
Gotcha.
Whereas if you were hatched, you'd have all of that right out the gate. But you wouldn't be able to transform, right?
Right.
Humans have to learn how to transform back into dragon. Once they can, then they have access to their full dragon form. But usually the progression is the first things you start to get are partial transformations. Your fingernails go into claws. Your eyes can shift so you can see better.
Humanborn can eventually become a lightweight equivalent of a full dragon.
No, they eventually a humanborn can become their true dragon.
Dragonborns are going to be nothing other than dragonborns.
Dragonborns are a race. They are a sub-race. Dragonborns in High Point are a subspecies of dragon. They are a dragon humanoid. Humanborns are dragons that were born out of their natural form, so therefore they have to learn their natural form.
That's crazy.
But once they unlock it,
I like that a lot.
Once they unlock it, they are dragons. They are still dragons, but in society, you weren't a hatchling.
Yeah,
you don't deserve the full ranks because you had to learn what we have naturally. It's just It's the layer of racism. It's just constant layer of racism is again, it's mimic of the real society, right?
Of course.
The idea is a hierarchy. There's always a hierarchy. Dragonborns are less than humanborns, but humanborns are almost for most of the part, humanborns are considered like a dirty race. Like dragonborns to dragons are considered a sub-race. Humanborns are considered a dirty race. So whether you consider that better or worse,
no, I feel you.
You know what I mean?
100%.
You don't really know depending on what you feel, but that's how it is in High Point. So good point. Dragonborns are in my realm, but in two different fashions.
You got distracted again.
We did.
It's rate time.
I was trying to get through the comments, and then they keep commenting.
I know. I'm saying we're never gonna do it.
Blah blah blah. So the D&D world, awesome. I guess I'll send a link sometime soon. Cool. That's pretty cool. How do you Peppa? I'm just gonna call you Peppa. Is that or La Peppa? Can we just say La Peppa for right now? Is that okay? My father was a red dragon who met my mother in a noble festival. My mother was a blue dragon who was there to fuck with some mortals for fun. They created the half dragon. Leppa. Okay, Leppa.
Leppa.
A little bit of a separation there. Okay. That is cool. I like the idea of the melding of the dragons too. Like in High Point, that's typically taboo. That they don't like, they don't like the mixing of the types typically, which is why Nessa's character, who is a High Point Dragonborn, a human-born. I kind of just separate. I usually just say High Point Dragonborn because it's more fun to say Dragonborn when you're that way. But she's technically a human-born. Her parents are two different classes of dragon, and that was very, very like taboo, which is basically why they're in hiding, and there's a whole big deal about that.
Stuff. Yeah.
But no. I love the idea of mixing them. Look in the community chat. Okay, cool. So you've posted that in the chat. So we should I think of the community chat. We should have something, or
it is a picture.
Okay, cool. We have something at least. We have what? Where is it? You've been found by Maria Stalker the bar, prepared to be hugged by a kobold. That's cute.
I love that.
All right, so Cosmic. Without further ado, I need to get the title on here.
I should have been on that.
What's the title of this thing?
Can you copy it from the other thing?
I can. Because we're on computers and we can do this thing. Okay, so Cosmic. So sorry for all of the delays, but you know how it goes. Chronicle of a Forgotten Age. It's a +3 tome. Very underutilized to +3 a tome. I think it solves so many beautiful things that are limiters, but it doesn't do it in a way that feels overpowered. I think he beautifully solved the low level healing issue in a way that I never thought about.
I do like that a lot.
I really do think, again, the more we talked about it, the more doubling healing, those healing spells actually made more sense to me. You know, like I said, even at that level of 3, that 50 points is so clutch in a fight. I'm 100% for it. There's a few things we would have changed.
A couple. I would say for me, especially with all the different elements of what he did, there is a lot to be said for inspiring mechanics, item mechanics, and interactions. Like, to me, there's a whole lot to be gleaned from the way stuff was put together in this item.
No, 100%.
So I'm for sure here for that.
I'm leaning. I'm trying to look at the other. Like, I'm really trying to realize I should also look at what I've rated other things and learn
see like how I see it in comparison to a lot of these things. Yeah.
It's better than that. Is it? It's better than that. It's not as good as that. Yep. Okay, so looking at just some of old Cosmic stuff. So it's better than the Robe of Accumulative Knowledge, I think, in general, as an idea and as power. I don't think it's as good in power or idea as the Satchel of Individual Desire.
Interesting.
But I still think it's also about equal to the Cosminium Jewel. I think in all respects, it's pretty still 7. I'm going to give this, I think this one deserves a solid 7 out of 10. I think that as is, I think I would need to change it up a little bit. I think we've talked about a little bit the changes I would make. It doesn't particularly inspire me to make any particular thing or create a new idea for me, but I do give major props to +3 in the tome. And there's a bit that would need to be changed in order to make it even usable in High Point. So those are the 3 marks that it gets. So I say, yeah, 7 out of 10, Cosmics. Let's do this real quick. Let's give you...
That bumps his average.
Another 7 out of 10. Let me... Oh, did you already do that?
I did.
Thank you. See? Cosmic, your new average for all of 14, is it 14 official items?
Goodness.
14 items that you have, 7.2 is your average. That's pretty damn good.
I went up a whole point with this review.
Like legit, that means that more often than not, I want, or at least am inspired by his items. That really does mean that most of his items are like...
It really is.
Like really getting the juices flowing.
And the reality is, like, from what we've seen, that's true. That's very true.
Yeah, no, that's 100% Cosmic. Like, that is fantastic. You were number 33 for the 2023 year. That's fantastic. 7 out of 10. What does that bump the new average to? So 7.2 out of 10 is the new average. It was like what, 6 point something? 6.
Yeah, it was 6.4, or it was high. It was like 6.8, I think.
Yeah, but you got you got into the 7s, which is great. So if anyone has ever posted the homebrew channel, I don't see anyone's working there. So some of the channels you won't be able to see what previous people have posted, just because again, if they're channels for us to talk about, we don't necessarily want to like generate too much interest or too much buzz about it before we talk about it. Because if all the community already knows what we're going to talk about, it may not be as interesting. But there is a glitch that's happening in Discord. If you come across a channel that you can't see the history of, the first thing you can do is go click and check the pinned messages. If you go check the pinned messages, sometimes there's a weird thing when you join the Discord where if you go check the pinned messages, it will basically make all previous messages appear. I don't know why that is. It's happened with me in testing.
I can confirm that has happened to me a couple of times.
So yes, so some of the channels you're not going to be able to see what was previously posted. That's intentional. Other channels, it may just be a glitch. So all I can say is for every channel, just go to the channel, click on the pinned messages. There's always a pinned messages in all of them to kind of tell you what they're for and kind of give you guidelines on how to post. And if you click on that and then like try to jump to it and it doesn't post anything, if nothing appears, either the channel's dead or you're not supposed to see it. So keep in mind that may or may not be there.
If you're talking about the home brewing, I believe you should be able to see the history. So
yeah,
try the pinned
brewing should have history. That may just be a glitch that we're still working out. We still don't know why that happens. We haven't figured out.
Especially because I really love what was put in the home brewing by Love Murder Rose. She had some really cool stuff for her homebrew class.
Yeah. We definitely.
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
Let me make sure. Does home brewing has a pinned message, right?
It does not have a
pin. It does. Yeah, it does? Home brewing does have a pinned message. Yeah. So if you go to pinned messages, just look at the pinned messages, even click on it or jump to it. It should unlock everything on that channel. I clicked on it and it didn't work in the home brewing. Give me 1 second. We're gonna fix this right now because this should not be that way. Home brewing. He has the right roles. He has follower but not viewer.
Correct.
Okay.
Follower but not viewer, and he's still verified.
Permissions, viewers, followers. Send messages. Where is send messages, embed links, reactions? Where is the read message history? Yeah.
Read message history?
Yeah, everything is on. For followers, right?
For followers, yep.
Let me double check. Follower and verified. That doesn't make... Yeah. Okay, so when you click on it, it doesn't work, and I'm in the home brew. Okay. So yeah, home brewing. So you can't see anything. Interesting. I don't know.
Home brewery?
Because that's the same place you posted the fur cobalt. You don't see anything in there. That's not right. No, wait, what did I just do? Oops. I think I just invited somebody to a server. I think I just accidentally invited Cosmic to a server that he doesn't belong in. Whoops. Cosmic, you can ignore that if you get an invite. Don't worry. That was a mistake.
Interesting. Yeah, he sent a screenshot.
Yeah, sorry, Cosmic. Yeah, don't worry about that. That was a mistake. He sent a screenshot in Discord?
In the community chat in Discord, and showing what he sees. And it's just his two past messages and nothing before it. That's very interesting, yeah.
That shouldn't be that way. You should be able to see everything.
I'm going to try removing the permission and giving it back and see what happens.
View channel, create invites, send messages. Yeah, read message history. You should be able to read everything.
Of course, disappeared.
And then you have the right roles.
Hold on, I'm giving it back to him.
New threads are not shown on the channel. Oh, wait. Hold on. Let me double check something. Verified follower. No. Okay, that is a bug we're going to have to look at. Thank you so much for bringing that to our attention.
We can keep working on that with you offline if that's still causing issues.
Actually, do you mind? We want to at least we've been able to find a bug, please. Yes, thank you. Can you actually do us a favor? Under the suggestions channel under stream info, if you go there, where you can see on my screen here, if you go to the suggestions, can you open us up a ticket? We want to try this. We haven't had a ticket yet, but this is definitely something that would resolve
that's actually fair.
Would you mind just posting a ticket real quick and letting just anything? You just say like, hey, not able to see history. I just want to test the ticket system and make sure that my mods can see it and everything. But this would be perfect for that ticket, and we'll definitely look into it this week. I don't know how we're gonna fix that.
It should. I mean, because the history's there. So
cool. Can you see that ticket? Should be on the left. You have to go down.
I do.
To create tickets first. Thank you so much. That also proves that it works too. Great. Awesome. See, we're gonna test all the new things.
We're making it happen.
Right at the end of the year, we're making all this stuff happen. Okay, where did we end up in chat? We finally did the review. So Cosmic got his number. Cosmic's. Where did we leave off? Clicked on it and didn't work. The bot needed time to see if you were new. Yeah, if you go to the beginning channel, you will see what I see. Yep. Okay, so it just looked like my Discord might be having a problem. Cosmic says, if I have a next item in mind of what to work on next, the only clues I will give is that it is a non-attuned, limited number of uses, so no attunement, limited number of uses, and that itself has a limited number in the world, enough to be very rare, but not so few to justify legendary.
Interesting. So it's not like one of a kind, but it's
scarce,
very scarce. Okay,
interesting. I'm really curious. Can we know what type? Can you give us a like? Is it an item, armor, weapon? Like, you have to tell us what type of armor or weapon. Just very basic category. Armor, weapon, item, anything. And can we get anything on it? Lepa. I gotta learn how to say that better.
Lepa.
From it's the same. The message you just show was not even pulled up. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna have to figure out what's going on with Discord. I don't understand what the problem is. Nope, it didn't work. I believe Discord is just slow. It's been able to find a bug. Let's see. So, address that changes the body form of the user. That was the guess for Cosmic's new item. Address that changes the body form of the user.
Interesting.
That's actually, dude, so legit. That's actually a cool idea for like adding to a disguise. Having an outfit you could put on that changes your body type.
That would be kind of fire.
Like, that could be a dope item for a disguise. That's actually cool. Wondrous. Okay, so Cosmic says it's a wondrous item. It's a utility. I think would be best fit. So it's a wondrous item utility.
Okay, very cool. Very
wet
cool.
in the palate. Wet in the palate. Okay. Well, yes. Okay. Well, I think that's been a successful 50th stream. We are 3.5 hours in. It's a Monday. We both have work tomorrow.
Great. It's fine. It's fine.
I think it's been fantastic. Thank you guys so much for letting us know what's going on with the Discord. We will be looking into that this week and trying to get some fixes in. But yeah, Osborne, I have to get my teeth drilled tomorrow. Oh, that sounds fantastic.
That sounds like
I also
my
have
favorite.
Dentistry. I have a dentist to visit on the 26th, the day after Christmas. Yay, I get medicated and go in.
Thank you.
Well, I hope tomorrow's not terrible. I hope today and I hope this stream help lighten the mood a little bit, and I hope you can get some rest tonight. Thank you everybody for joining us today. Thank you for the new followers.
Making this
Gold
a wonderful
Osborne,
50th stream.
Hoy the Peppa, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for interacting. We love this. We definitely want to see you guys more. Please, chat in the Discord. Let us know what you guys want to see more of, what we want to talk about. Submit your items. We would love to hear them. We would love to see them and talk about them. If you're watching on YouTube, like and comment if you can. If you dislike, at least let us know what's going on that we can do better. Otherwise, again, thank you guys for so much for joining us this year. 2023 has been crazy. We've been going 6 months. We're 50 episodes in. It's great. We're not going to stop. This has been so much fun. We have so many more topics that we're going to be doing. We are taking a holiday break, so keep that in mind.
Like a week and a half. It's not that long. We'll be right back.
Yeah. We'll be back in just a little bit. But we will not be back for this Friday. I'm taking this Friday off. I'm taking next week off and the week after. So we will be back January 8th, Monday, January 8th, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for the next D&D Discussions homebrew review. We already have an item submitted, so we already have next year ready to go. Join the Discord. We're going to pop that link last time in chat. So join the Discord if you can. Chat with us over the holiday season. Get your items submitted for next year. We're going to start fresh next year, January 8th with Homebrew Review. And then Friday, on Fridays, we're going to continue with our deep dive series. Everything has been fantastic. Everything has been such a crazy development this year. But we're enjoying it. We're gonna keep going. We're so happy that you guys have joined us. It's been so fantastic to have each and every one of you join and talk to us, right? Like, it's not just the joining, it's the fact that you guys are in chat. It's that you're giving us stuff to talk about, you're interacting with us, and that's what we want, right? We don't want to just be talking heads on the screen. We want to be just other people who are gaming just like you, and we want you to feel a part of that. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Cosmic. Thank you, Gold Osborne. Thank you, La Peppa. Thanks for the stream. Looking for the D&D, look in the D&D art channel. Oh, let's look at the D&D art channel real quick. Ooh, these are all your own. Are these all of your own? Holy shit.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, is that like on is that like Hero Forge?
I think so.
That looks like Hero Forge. This definitely looks like
so
self-made.
Cool.
This doesn't look like AI art.
Very much.
And look how look. I know this is self-made because they're all so similar. Like, they're all like they've all hit all of the, like, look at that. You don't get that same
such
symbol
a vibe
on the head without knowing what you're doing. This is ridiculous. I don't know what the gift is, but these are fan made for your character. These are, oh my god, I love art like this.
That's epic.
And hey, the first person who used the D&D artwork channel correctly. Thank you so much. You knew the difference between D&D artwork and D&D inspirations. I appreciate you so much. Those are absolutely phenomenal. I absolutely love those. I'm gonna give that a reaction right now. There's 10 more downloading.
Let's go.
We'll be reacting to those here soon. Thank you guys so much for joining us. You guys are all amazing people. We hope to see you in January. We hope to see you next year.
That's right.
I know 2.5 weeks is a long break, but it's going to be well needed for all of us. Have a great rest of your week. I hope you had a fantastic
Beautiful
weekend.
holidays, man.
You are all great. Please come back. Please, chat in the Discord. We want to hear from you. We want to know what you guys want to hear about. We will see you guys in just a couple of weeks. Have a fantastic holiday. Thank you guys so much again. again, just have a fantastic holiday. Have a great rest of your week. We are out of here.
Deuces, my friends.
One more comment. It's kind of funny because I have a fan art from. Oh my God, they just all popped up.
Of course
I have kind of fan art from all through the fandoms, and I like to take pictures and print them out and mount them on my wall. I would do the same thing if I had that much artwork, dude. No, that is such a fantastic idea. Oh my God, these are cool. That's fucking adorable. Oh my God. These are so good. So
cute. I freaking
Oh my God, look at that. Dude, that's so good.
Yo, if I find some of my old artwork from my players, I'm so throwing it in there. I found that one that I showed you.
I fucking love this one. This one might be my favorite.
That's so sick.
I fucking love it, dude. No, but dude, this like...
That's exactly what this is here for, man. That's perfect.
These are so good, though. Like, no, dude, this dress is fucking tripping me out, dude. Like, damn. Like, please, if you have more, please fucking post it. These are so good. These are like jaw-dropping good. Oh my God. I wish I could draw like just like that. I just wish I had fucking fan drawings of my characters. I'm mad. All right, guys, we got to go. It's Monday. We got work tomorrow. A whole bunch of stuff is happening. Again, thank you guys so much. You guys are all amazing. We will see you January 8th with the next homebrew review. Take care, y'all.
Deuces.